On this episode of the Empty Netters podcast, we are giving you a full Four Nations Montreal leg breakdown.
Adrian Kempe, Seth Jarvis, and Erin Ambrose joined the pod.
It's U.S. versus Canada with one of the best hockey games I've ever seen. Maybe the best hockey game I've ever seen.
Ice is ready, and we are back with another episode of the Empty Netters podcast brought to you by BetMGM. I am your host, Dan Powers. I am joined by Nate Thompson and by a man who once said he would watch the Entourage movie every night for the rest of his life starting at 7 p.m. for a mere $5,000. Chris Powers.
As always, and it was 50.
He's still too low. Still far, far too low.
That's true.
Boys, holy hell.
I'm delirious right now.
Same.
Like legitimately
Fucking
delirious.
Dude, somebody yesterday goes to me, he was like, well, they were talking about skiing.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I got to work Sunday, so I can't ski. And I go, well, you got to work Sunday, you're golden, because, tomorrow's Saturday. And he was like, no, it's Saturday now, dude. And I was like, oh, yeah, fuck. I was like, I have no idea where I am, what day it is. Like, this is chaos.
What is this now? Day 5? We got in Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So here we are recording on Sunday. This episode will be coming out Monday morning. This has been, we're going to get into everything.
Yep.
We got a lot to talk about. We're going to get into everything. This has been one of the greatest trips of our lives.
It's been insane.
It's been insane. I mean, from a hockey fan perspective, from a hockey person perspective, this has exceeded all expectations. It has been unbelievable.
And more, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, and the fact that we're in Montreal, I think that adds to it. Like, the fact that we're here.
We like Montreal.
We love
it.
Montreal, don't we?
But dude, you're so right though. Like I can see a world and everyone's opinion about next year's Winter Classic can be what they are. Like I see both sides of it truly. But if this so easily could have been like in Tampa, because I could see them have been like, well, it's a cool venue and like let's just do it there. And I'm like,
you know what, Tom, we talked about this. I think not a better comp, but maybe a more realistic comp. We were saying this could have easily been in Toronto and New York.
Yeah.
The fact that they picked smaller hockey-centric cities, dude, I don't want to kiss Gary on the mouth here, but every decision for this tournament has been perfect.
Home
this
run.
being here, playing at the Bell Center, then playing at the TD Garden, it's like these smaller major cities with huge hockey communities was the biggest no-brainer of all time. Because if we were in Toronto, amazing city, we love Toronto, it's just a little too big. It's harder to have the entire city feel wrapped up in something when it's such a big city. Montreal's perfect for this.
yes.
And the people here in Montreal have been perfect.
Yeah.
Before we get into this stroke-off session that's going to be this tournament and Montreal, we do have one gripe that we've been talking about for 5 days that we need to discuss. What the hell is going on with the Uber situation in the city?
It's a racket.
It's a racket.
It's a
dude.
racket.
It's a racket.
Man.
It's a mob, dude.
It's a fucking racket.
I have never seen, like, I know that like in Breaking Bad they have a laundry service that's like a front. You know? I know that there are businesses. Tony Soprano owned a business like that. That's like this is mob activity. I legitimately, something is fishy with the Montreal Uber situation.
It's just off. I mean, we're in the middle of a snowstorm. That doesn't help. But every Uber takes 20 minutes to get to you. You order black SUV, and then a Nissan Rogue shows up. And I'm like, what are we doing? And what's crazy is every time that's happened, I contest it. And I'm like, hey, this wasn't a black SUV. And Uber goes like this, oh, sorry about that. Here's $10.
Oh,
Dan,
they do.
Dan, what about yesterday when you ordered an Uber and the guy literally drove right by you with people in the car?
I literally forgot about
Like, what the fuck? Like,
that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
That was insane.
Like, we ordered an Uber. The guy came to where we were. I ran up to the car and was like, hey, and he just drove right by me, and there were 3 passengers in the car. And then I was messaging him. I was like, dude, what are you doing? And he was like, I'm dropping someone else off. And I was like, well, then cancel my ride. And he was like, no, you cancel.
Yeah. He called. He was like, you cancel it, dude. I'm like, you're
cancel,
driving someone
so
else.
your score goes down.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is going on? It's unbelievable.
Dude, I can't. One time, it's like fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. one time I excuse. Like one time they send a fucking Prius for my black SUV, and I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. Like,
mistakes happen.
Yeah, but dude, it's every time. Like, I have not once successfully acquired a black SUV Uber here. No. And even I think I'm like 1 for 5 on just regular XLs. Like one time a van came and I was like, oh hey, it's a van.
Absolutely insane.
They got to fix that. They got to figure it out, Montreal. The Ubers
got to figure it out. All right, the Uber situation is not great. Everything else is great.
Everything else perfect.
Everything else is perfect. So like we said, we get in Tuesday, wake up Wednesday. I don't even remember what we did.
Workout.
We were, we got.
We had our first and only. We had our first and only workout.
We were like setting the tone, boys.
Really setting
the tone. We're gonna work out every day this week,
dude. I was like, great start, boys. We got a great workout into.
Yeah,
and I was
really
like,
good workout.
I was like, this is great. We're gonna rip this every day.
I saw the refs. Saw West and saw all the boys. Yeah, that was funny.
And then it's just been we have had accumulatively we've had 2 hours of downtime, maybe.
Yeah, since that moment.
Maybe. It's been absolutely insane. But that first game, Canada, Sweden.
Yep.
We get everything going. We get our credentials. We get the workout in. We get rocking, and we go to the Bell Center. The way that in warm-ups, that arena just like took my breath away, and I don't mean that in a corny way. I mean like legitimately I was like, oh my God. Was that moment. We didn't even have a puck drop yet. And to me, every doubt about this tournament was gone instantly.
We heard, you're going to hear this in a second when some of these guys come on, but they were saying that they could tell in warm-ups how crowded it was. And I felt like so could we, even in the concourse.
Juice said in practice.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't remember the last time I've watched warm-ups.
Yeah, right.
And I was excited to watch warm-ups. And I remember like I had the same sentiment. Like I was sitting there and I just kept looking around and I'm like watching the guys on the ice. Some guys no bucket on, like skating around, and you're just like, what the like, where am I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it adds to it that you're in Montreal, because you guys know, like being here, like there's a vibe in that arena where it's like, whoa,
oh my God,
where like you know, I always say it's like Montreal, like the Bell Center, it's like a church of hockey. A little bit.
Absolutely,
it feels like a church.
Yes,
it's like a cathedral.
100%.
Great call.
And that's what it felt like. It was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, go on. It was
okay. So that game, we show up, it's packed. We're like, holy hell, dude, something's cooking here. And I stupidly, I guess, probably didn't realize or expect the extra intro there. Like I was like, oh yeah, here comes Canada and Sweden anthems, and then let's go. But it was like, oh no, like here comes Daniel Alfredsson, and here comes Timu, and who came out for US? I can't remember.
Austin and Richter.
Richter. Yeah,
that's right.
Richter, and then Mario, obviously. So they do the whole thing, and man, I also stupidly didn't think about the Leafs players. Like the Leaf players getting absolutely dogged here, which is awesome because it's like Willie comes out and they're playing Sweden and he's a Leaf, murdered. Matthews comes out.
But the way Willie smiled at the camera, like they start booing and he was just like,
what? Dude.
Like he's so, he loves
he's
it.
the man,
it's great.
Dude. So yeah, it was like these legends come out. Matthews totally hearing it from the crowd. But dude, the ovation for Sid and for Mario took my breath away. And I mean that.
100%. It was, the Bell Center's got those little necklaces that hang on every seat. It's like the blinking red light. They've got them all synced up. It's the most electric atmosphere in the NHL. And, you know, we talked about it with a bunch of the guys who've come on. Ikes was saying it. I think something that we maybe didn't consider, which is weird, right? It's like we've got this best on best tournament. I never considered how cool it is for the Canada boys to be representing their country for the first time on the national stage, best on best in their own country. And I didn't think about that because usually it's, you know, Olympics are going to be in Italy. And you're like, oh yeah, great. And like the Italians will hopefully have a team and sure, that's great. But it's like, you think about the major hockey countries, they're overseas, and it's Sochi was another one. It's like, yeah, great. You know, it is wild to me that I didn't think about that because the moment was so clear the second it was going on. Like all of these Canadian flags, these Canadian citizens with like tears in their eyes,
Yeah.
singing the anthem together, watching this, like, Mario on the ice with Sid, seeing the adoration the young boys have for Sid. The amount of Crosby chants that start is just like, holy shit.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
I know.
It's like bringing me back right now.
Yeah. It was nuts, man. Like we're watching a Canada-Sweden game. We are 3 U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
And we were, my heart was beating out of my chest. I was like, this is so electric. And it has been pedal to floor since that moment.
Yeah.
Like we can talk about that game, and you guys you'll hear Jarvie and Juice talk about it. But that first 10 minutes was like, dude, we were just smiling. I felt like a child. Genuinely, I felt like a child in a toy store, because I was just like, I've got 3 guys who love hockey. That's the best 10 minutes of hockey I've seen in my entire life to that point.
Dude.
And I was like, oh my God.
The fact, I said the Sid shootout in the snow Winter Classic goal, in the first Winter Classic ever, felt literally scripted.
In Buffalo, right?
Yeah, like I was like, that's not possible. That's how NHL has this idea, and then their Golden Sun does that to win the game. Having a McKinnon from Crosby and McDavid goal 40 seconds into the Nations game played in Canada, but I was like, that's what contract was signed and everyone agreed to do that,
dude. And the way that power play goal shaped up, it looked like a script scene from a movie. Like they were like, let's have this play, the passing be so crisp. Let's have Crosby get it and spinorama no look backhand
between the legs of, I think it was Slavin that went down.
Yeah. Or it was Hetty, wasn't it? Because it was.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm still in.
Yeah.
We're all still in.
Yeah.
But yes, like between his legs, and then boom, goal. Like it was like, let's script up like the most dominant looking goal.
And then the look on all their faces, like the look on McKinnon and Nate Dogg when he was like looking, he was just like, they were like looking at each other like, wow, this is so much fun.
Dude, I had this thought, man. Because Sid's obviously played in everything. Nate hasn't done anything. No. Hasn't had the chance. What a cool moment growing up in Sid, not his town too, but in the same town as Sid, idolizing that guy, making the league yourself as a superstar, getting to play with him on a Team Canada for your first time, and then having your hero send you on across. Like when he hit that into the net, he must have just been like, well, dude, I have fantasized about this. Yeah.
And to go one step further, how much talk have we heard about the Nova Scotia boys, those two and Brad, and then 2 minutes later, Brad scores.
Yeah.
It was like, the way that the roof of that building fucking flew off, and we talked about it. I looked at you, Tom, where I go, is this going to be 10-0?
Yeah.
Like it was.
Yeah, we thought so.
It was insane.
The way it started, yeah.
But it was just, I mean, that game, it set the tone in a couple of ways, right? Like Canada comes out, power play. We heard about imagine that power play. Boom, goal, instantly, goal. So then, boom, they score again. The barn. We couldn't have asked for a better vibe. I mean, I'm going to be redundant here, but how many times did we all were thinking, you can't ask for anything better? Mm-hmm. Like Canada scores, they get a power play immediately, they score immediately. Then another one of the vets that we were desperate to be on this team, Marchand, scores immediately. It was just like, holy shit. But then the next part was, after we just said, oh, fuck, is Canada just going to run Sweden here? After 10 minutes, Sweden going, relax. And then, boom, they made it the fucking best game ever. Also showed, like, Sweden's here to not fuck around. They're nasty. And then they tie it up, and we go to overtime. First game goes to overtime. A 10-minute 3-on-3 overtime goes beyond 5 minutes. Just back-to-back. Hedman shutting down 15 one-on-ones.
With Nate Dogg winding it up every single time.
Dude, I was laughing with Merles because I was up with Merles for that OT. You guys were down. I was up with Merles, and I was laughing with him because he was like, God, Hedman just ate 8 straight one-on-ones. And I was like, yeah, from the 8 best players alive, too.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, yeah. Like, it's literally just an onslaught of like, oh, here's Sid, here's Nate,
Connor.
here's Connor. I was
Connor.
like, dude, Hedman's just like, oh, fuck.
He was like, bring it on. Give me Kale next.
It's insane, dude. Oh,
absolutely
my God.
insane. And then, obviously, Mitchie gets the overtime goal after all the fans, the Habs fans and Canadian fans alike were like, fuck you, Marty, get off the ice.
I like how they had to cheer Brad, too. Like, they cheered Marshy and Mitch in the same game. I was like, wow, Bell Center, unique moments in the Bell Center.
Dude, but it was just like, I mean, like we said, I feel like I was drenched in sweat after that game because I was just like, that was so electric, so intense. And it just set the tone, right? Like that one game set the tone for, all right, if you weren't paying attention before, make sure you watch every single one of these games. If you're at home, watch every single one of these games. And then I think for us, like, I don't know about you two, but like for me, watching that game, I was like, yep, we got a lot of work to do this week. This is going to be crazy, but take this in. This is, you said it, Tom, in the game. You were like, this is probably the best hockey we'll ever watch.
Well, and two, I think we have to recognize too, like what we witnessed that night with Canada, Sweden. We witnessed a Michael Jordan moment with Sidney Crosby.
Dude,
like what he did. Like, and if you didn't appreciate Crosby before this game, or if you didn't know much about him as a fan, or you've heard about him, but like, oh yeah, Sidney Crosby played a long time, probably Hall of Famer. If you didn't watch this, like, or you did watch this, you realize that he is him.
Bro, dude,
he is him.
I might have said this when Jarvis was here, so sorry if you'll hear it again. But the hype that he has, and whatever, he's at the Terminator, but the pressure, like you're a human being, like the entire country is chanting your name at this rink, not Nate's, not Connor's, you,
and probably a louder ovation than Mario.
Yes, dude, literally,
definitely,
than Mario,
which was crazy.
Yes,
yeah,
to have that coming out, and he's not a 28-year-old anymore. He's 30, like he's coming out 37. Like, damn,
yeah,
first time in a decade we've got to do this. I hope I can deliver.
Yeah,
bang, 3 apples, game-winning apple, player of the game, the man, MJ. And I'm like, bro, you are so good and so not afraid of any moment ever. It's incredible.
Everyone he rises to. I mean, you think about all the biggest games he's been in, Stanley Cup Finals, international play. He's always okay, Sid. You're the spark plug for us, and he was like every time they needed something good to happen. 87 was through. He was there.
And he's larger than life, dude. It's like
he is. Yeah, great expression. He's larger than life.
It's genuinely crazy. I mean, we talk about it all the time. People always ask I get asked it during the hockey talks all the time. Like, who's your top 5 of all time? Who's your Mount Rushmore? He's on it.
Yeah,
and if you don't. For the multitude of reasons, if you don't see why he's on it, you gotta wash your face, get some new contacts, wake up a little bit, because it is, you look simply at the talent on that ice and the way everyone is just looking at him. Like, he's a god. It's truly remarkable. And the way he, like you said, the way he answers the bell every time.
Getting to see him do that
in
person was.
I felt like lucky that we got to watch that, because it's like
absolutely.
I got to watch Sid cement himself more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
He cemented himself more as the GOAT by doing that.
Yeah,
where you're like, there's zero question that he is the guy.
It's just so sad.
And it's crazy to think too. He's what, 37 now?
Yeah,
38.
Yeah,
and he's a top 3 player on that team.
It's absolutely insane.
Right?
Yes,
it's a top 3 player on that team.
Okay, so then after the game, there's a million little pubs and everything right by the rink, So we were trying to just like find somewhere because the games are long, eh? Like it gets out
long. They just start late
and long TV timeouts.
Yeah,
longer TV timeouts, so it did feel longer. Yeah,
so it's like we get out and like we have been fucked on this trip with time zone. Like I'm just living on West Coast time still.
Like, I don't even know if there's been a time clock for us all weekend. Yeah. We just kind of been onto this, to the game, to
so it's like we're looking
dinner.
We're looking for somewhere to go get some food, honestly, and like everything's packed and like we had nothing to do. And then Dewey's like, yo, a couple of the boys are at Jack's or something.
Jack's Saloon.
Jack's Saloon. Shout out Jack's Saloon. So we go in there and it's dead, literally dead, except for us and just 5-6 dudes on Team Canada, just chopping it up. And man, for me, and I want to hear what you guys think too, but the coolest part of that whole hang session was obviously they're riding hot. Dude, you know how it makes me laugh? Every time we finish like a beer league and we're having beers upstairs, it's like, oh, dude, you had that sick pass off the wall there. That was still like hockey dudes just like chopping up the game that just happened.
It's the same thing.
And they're doing like Team Canada is like, oh, you made that. Well, I couldn't believe you made that pass. And I was like, this is hilarious.
Go, what do you guys do? Like when it's like, we have nights with like Dewey and Juice from, till 4 a.m. And people are like, what do you guys talk about? And we're like, hockey.
Yeah.
Just talk about hockey. It's so dumb.
Like, seriously, he's like, because Kempe scored in that game in front of Dewey. And like Dewey's like, my gap was shit. I can't believe I let Kempe do that. I was like, it's just hilarious to hear them do that. But then the other thing I was going to say was just watching the younger guys on Canada interact with Dewey.
Yeah, I mean, he's a gold medal winner. He's a Norris Trophy winner. And we always say it's so cool. I mean, like Tomer is a guy who played for multiple teams. It is, no one really wants to get traded, right? Like you want to stay in one place, especially if you're happy there. But I think one of the cool elements is like you get to meet new guys. Like you get to interact and play with different guys. And this is the coolest way to do that. Yep. Is like all of a sudden you get to play for your national team, you're meeting new guys, getting to hang out socially with new guys. So it was really cool. Yeah, like seeing all these guys who have not normally hung out being like, yeah, we're all being boys, but it was kind of just like everyone was sitting around Dewey.
Yeah.
And being like,
they were circling around him like a campfire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could see too, they weren't leaving until he was ready to leave.
Correct.
It was like,
dude, 100%. Like I actually saw at one point, like some of them start to like scoot a chair out, and Dewey's like, "We'll do one more," and everyone's like, "Yes, one more. I will also do one more." Yeah,
Yes.
and then he finishes.
A few of these like, yeah, like what are we doing? And like look at him, and he's like, "We're not going anywhere."
Yeah, and then same in reverse. Like they started to get another one, and he's like, "I'm all set," and they're like, "I actually am all set too.
Yeah.
I'll cancel that.
Take that back. Take that
back. And we're leaving."
No, but it was just obviously it's so awesome. I mean, anytime we get to hang out with those guys, it's the best. But seeing them in that environment was just so cool, and it was like we keep saying, just everything was setting the stage for the rest of the trip.
Yes, man.
And yeah, it's been amazing. But before we move on to the rest, let's kick it to Seth Jarvis and Adrian Kempe.
Yep.
I want you guys to hear from them. They played in that first game, had some unbelievable insights, so we'll let you hear everything they had to say now. You know that all season long, we've been teamed up with BetMGM, the best online sportsbook in the game. We are here in Montreal right now. It's blizzarding. We have been rocking at Four Nations, and we have been making picks left, right, and center on all of these games. And that's the beauty of BetMGM. Whatever's going on, they're going to give you action. And here's the deal. When you sign up for BetMGM right now using promo code NETTERS, NETTERS, you get the best deal going in the game. You can bet up to $1,500. And if you lose that, you get it all back into your account. BetMGM takes care of you like no one else. Whether you're betting on hockey, smart thing to do, or you're betting on NBA action, you're betting on Champions League football, whatever. BetMGM is the best sportsbook to do it. So get signed up right now. Use that promo code and get hooked up with that unbelievable offer and join us rolling on all these picks.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
All right, kicking it in Montreal. Still snowy Montreal. Seth Jarvis coming back on the pod.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, true.
Recurring.
True.
Now a recurring guest. Hot off the heels of the most electric hockey game we have all seen in years.
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now?
Finally coming down from it.
Yeah.
That was that was a lot. That was like you guys said, that was by far the craziest game I've ever played in. Just
Absolutely.
from an atmosphere standpoint. Finally settling in.
Yeah.
When
I bet.
Jarvie, when did they tell you when did they tell you the lines? When were they like, here's where you're slotted in?
We had practices for a couple days, but he kind of was like, we don't know how we're feeling, like stuff will move around. And then morning skate kind of got solidified, I guess.
Okay.
And see what everyone was going on.
So did it kind of sink in that moment where you're like, holy shit, dude, I'm going out there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the weird part is the first practice we had was by far the most nervous I've ever been for anything to do on the ice.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know any of the guys, or I didn't know any of the guys. Obviously such legends on the team, and I'm wheeling out there. I'm like, we're like doing just like the NASCAR, just shooting pucks.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness, there's like 300 media people. I've never seen that before to practice, and I'm just terrified.
Yeah.
The first couple drills, I'm like fumbling pucks. We're doing like Canada Cup. I'm like trying to just sift them on there, and then so I would honestly say I was probably more nervous for that than I was for that game.
I believe it, dude. Like, first time touching down on the ice with all those guys, how could you not be like, Jesus Christ, look at this?
If I put one of McKinnon's feet, like I'm gonna panic. I'm gonna absolutely
kill you,
panic.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jarvie rings one off the bar, hits McDavid in the face.
Yeah.
He's like, get the fuck off the ice.
Yeah, the last thing you want is one guy to give you a dirty look after a bad pass.
Oh my god. I'd be exiled from Canada if I did something like that.
But dude, you were joking around with us, like on the text. You were like, every team needs a shower guy. And then next thing you know, you're in the lineup. Did you have a holy shit moment where you're like,
oh fuck, here we go. I'm going.
Yeah. Well, yeah. During the anthems, I was like, all right. I kind of got it. Like I was trying to take it all in because you never know if you're ever going to experience something like that again.
Yeah.
So I was kind of looking around, taking it all in, and then I was like, kind of got to play a game now. Got to kind of focus up a little bit, and so I used the anthems just to kind of lock in a little bit more. And then from there, it's hockey. So like you're going out there, you're just playing against and with most of the best players in the world. So it's different, but it's hockey. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good
Did
point.
you need a shift though? Like sometimes I feel like it takes 1 or 2 shifts and to get hit once to be like, okay, now I'm settling in. Was it crazy that first
I don't know
time?
if you saw my first shift. I skated a million miles an hour trying to hit the first yellow jersey I saw. I was just trying to hit something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a couple shifts, I'd say, because and then I got the puck right away, and I think I just kind of threw it at the net.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm playing with like Marchand. I'm playing like I could probably try to make a play here and give him the puck and see what happens. But yeah, the first shift was skate as fast as humanly possible and hit something.
Yep.
Speaking of your line with Marshy and Point, like, did you know beforehand that you were going to be playing with them? And like, I don't know if you saw, but Marchand came out and said, like, I want to play with Seth Jarvis.
Yeah, he willed it.
I guess he did. He kind of spoke it into existence. I mean, like we practiced together, so that was kind of like a hint at it. But you never know. All that stuff can change so quickly. And then when he said that, I was off guard. I was like, oh, well, why? Yeah, like you could say almost anybody else on the it would make so much sense. But
You're like, Marsha, you know that Sid and Nate are right here.
I was like, you get the Nova Scotia line here. You want to play with me? But he's been absolutely unbelievable to me so far. Everything I could have hoped for as a person, and it's been a blast.
Were you guys kind of laughing on the bench when it's immediate peeper, immediate goal? Where you're like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, not only immediate goal, but immediate Nate from Sid and Connor.
And spin around.
Yeah,
on
where you
on the tape between the legs, like that was special.
Yeah, like everyone who was practice PKing the last 2 practices was like, yeah, I've seen that one a couple times actually.
They're like, here it comes, here it comes.
There we go.
That's hilarious. So beautiful.
It would have been more impressive if they didn't score than if they did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Stick taps to Sweden.
Yeah,
Hey, good on you,
That's
boys.
actually a good point.
Dude, we were just talking to Kempe, and he was saying like that first 10 minutes was fucking insane. From your perspective, how much were you guys buzzing? Like it was like that you were hammering them for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was impossible not to be flying out there. And like we were talking about last night, like that was the most unnecessarily fast game ever. Like just skating so hard, so fast for no reason.
Yep.
Like there's times in games where like you can slow up, read a little bit more, adjust. No.
Dude,
it was balls out 24/7. It was something.
Oh yeah,
It looked fast.
It was north south.
Yeah.
It was Mad Max Fury.
I was like,
it was just like
this is like
the whole
Mach 10 right now. These guys are moving.
Dude, it's hard to say, I guess, in hindsight, but I feel like there was so much hype. So it was the first game, you're at home in Canada, the crowd insane. Like you said, it warm-ups, it was already packed, right? Did the first goal or scoring so quickly help a little bit? I feel like if it had been 0-0 for 10 minutes, you guys might have been like, tighten up. Oh my God. But did that help kind of your bench just be like, here we go, dude?
1,000%. And I think when you score on the power, it almost opens it up even a little bit more. Like you have that going for you, score early and just seeing those guys connect, knowing they're going, it kind of gets everyone else humming along.
Yeah. Did you, well, actually, let's get into your goal too, or the goal you assisted on. They hadn't even, your goal.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
It only happens because of you.
Yeah, correct. You guys, like Dan said, were all over him. Sweden didn't even have a shot on goal yet. Maybe the Willie one, but didn't even have a shot on goal yet. You make a great play to get it up to Pointer there. See, that was the play. That was the pass of the whole play to set the whole thing up.
Let's not get nuts here.
It was.
Jarvie.
It was.
I told you last night, you went so all out on that play that I was like, he's about to get bundled. And then you somehow got your stick on it and got it up to Pointer. That made the whole goal.
Well, that's just not having a lot of awareness. He could have probably hammered me, but I was ready to, make that play. I mean, Pointer's pass was by far the nicest pass out of anything there. He froze everybody in the arena.
Pretty sick. Pretty sick.
And Marshy could have skated it into the net at that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're playing with 2 guys, that was kind of the moment it clicked. Like maybe I don't have to dump this puck. Maybe I can make a play. And just so happened to work out.
So you guys get that goal, and there's a couple sick pictures of you guys going nuts, right? Is that? I have 2 questions. One, were you kind of like, holy shit, I just assisted a goal for Team Canada. This is amazing. And number 2, at any point are you guys like, we are about to beat the wheels off this team?
I mean, yeah. I was like, this is pretty sweet. I got an apple in an environment like this is pretty cool. And also, for a second there, we were like, this might get a little nasty here, but you have to. They pushed back pretty much right away.
Yeah.
And like that last half of the first, last couple minutes of the first, and then that second period, they really kind of took it to us. They had a good game going. So like you have to expect they're the best players from Sweden. Like they have studs over there. So you knew it was going to happen. But there was a little bit of, there was probably a couple seconds where you're like, oh boy.
All the boys are like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. We looked at each other, Tom, and I was like, this could get ugly fast.
Oh, yeah.
I
mean, the way you guys started, I was like, oh,
take a moment.
Yeah. But then Sweden settled in. Take us into the locker room a little bit, like beforehand. I know, like, nerves for you.
Yeah.
Like, was there any older guy or was there someone, like, maybe joking around to kind of loosen things up? And then, like, second part, like, on the bench, you know, like, how is it on, like, what's the dynamic on the bench? Is there a lot of guys talking or guys, like, you know what I mean, being quiet? You know, kind of give us that. Yeah.
The locker room's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, like you have all those guys who've played in tournaments like this, so they're kind of there calming the storm a little bit. It was honestly, the locker room was pretty loose, a lot more loose than I would have expected, to be honest with you, because all those guys are so regimented and everything they do, but everyone was pretty loose, just excited to go. And then on the bench, I think Marshy probably had the highest word count out of anybody in that arena.
Wait, are you beacon guys?
I'm not chirping anybody.
Okay.
I'm not smart enough to kind of get that going right away.
Is Marshy though?
Marshy got good ones.
All game.
Marshy's
I
fine.
saw him.
Was he chirping last night?
Yeah.
He was chirping.
He was chirping.
He was going at Carlson for a while.
I fucking love that.
Who? It was like the end of the first or something.
Well, it was when Carl, he shot it on net.
Shot it after the buzzer.
And then he said he couldn't hear it.
I saw Marshy
I
going.
saw him go like this, yeah.
Yeah, he was going after him. But, I mean, given the role we're playing in, you never know how much you're going to play. So there's other ways to affect the game.
Sure.
Like talking on the bench, creating energy for everybody. So people are coming off, like, give them taps, whatever, cheer for hits, cheer for blocks, whatever you can do. So that's pretty much my mindset every game. And then whenever I can pitch in offensively, it always helps.
Yeah. How is scale 1 to 10? How incredible is sharing a locker room with Dewey for the first time?
He's awesome. Yesterday was kind of the first time we spent a lot of time around each other, and he's great.
Oh, dude.
He's everything anyone ever says about him. He's the best.
True.
As advertised. The laugh, dude. The laugh.
My dude. That thing, it makes you cannot not
Correct.
laugh.
Possible.
It's
Every
impossible
time.
not to laugh.
It is the most contagious laugh of all time.
Yeah.
You could laugh at your fucking mother's funeral. And
Yeah.
start pissing
If you-
yourself.
yeah,
It's
it's
unbelievable. Did you have a moment, obviously the goal is so cool, or again, your goal,
Yes.
your goal. For you, how long did it take to sink in that moment of like throwing on the Canada jersey, being there in Montreal, playing for your country?
Yeah, that whole warm up probably.
Yeah.
That was, I've never seen anything like that. I think the rink almost was fully packed. By the
Dude,
time
it
you
was.
came
No,
over.
it was.
100%.
It was. I sat through warm ups too, and I was just like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, like they had those red
blinking lights.
things on, were coming out.
those
Like
were sick.
Yeah.
we started doing the hot lap. I was high stepping.
Yeah.
Kind of snap one quick. Hags was joking like he snapped one 6 feet wide, but he was still humming along.
Yeah.
Like, it's unreal.
Yeah.
That's
God,
so
such
great.
a good feeling.
Dude, the crowd was so pro you guys, obviously, and everything. You could feel it the whole game. But after 3, we were kind of joking earlier, the third goal you guys scored kind of went against the run of play where they were having a good second period, and then they really hit the comeback, and you could feel the building get tense for us too. Like we were in there and it got quieter and everybody was like, "Oh my God." Did you guys, were you feeling that? Were you tightening up on the bench, or was it like steady as she goes, we're fine?
Yeah, I think a little bit of both. I think obviously you kind of expected a push, and they gave us a great play.
Yeah.
They came back. They played a really good game, but you got to have confidence with the lineup we have, and knowing the guys who are putting out on the ice that it's going to sort itself out and that we're going to win. So I think it is a mix of both, knowing that they got players over there that can definitely be game changers, but we got ultimate superstar game changers on our team that that can
Yeah,
flip
no
a game
kidding.
pretty quick.
For sure. Do you feel like you can tell or feel the weight of the importance, like from the crowd, and then does that leak into the team? Because we've spent tons of time talking about, a lot of people were like, yeah, we'll see if the guys really care about this tournament that much. Like, do you feel the weight of the nation on you guys a little bit?
I mean, yeah, but I mean, whenever you toss on that jersey, I think you feel the weight of a nation, no matter what the tournament is.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
getting to
I
wear
love that.
Definitely.
is an honor. So I mean, anytime you get to represent your country, whether it's a big tournament, small tournament, whatever it is, it matters. And so for something like this in Canada, doing it in Montreal, in such a legendary place, it definitely feels a lot more like really important, which it is. But it's also hockey, like I said before.
Yeah,
like you're out there playing hockey, just on a really big stage.
Yeah, there's a lot of people watching. Dude, we were talking with you last night about the OT because like we're sitting up in the bleachers and it's like McCarr, McKinnon, and McDavid get put out there, and we're like, "Oh, that's crazy." And Tomer said he's talking to you, and you're like, "It was crazy for us too, dude." Watching from the bench,
it was nuts. It
so
sucks
insane.
they didn't win the face-off right away because Sweden kept possession for a decent amount of time, but right when they got the pill, you knew something was going to go crazy.
Yeah,
and those guys winding it up, I would have hated to be on the ice against. Oh,
dude. Kempe said, right? He was like, I was out there one time. It was miserable.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, just seeing like every time Nate got the puck, I did like this one. I stood up. I was like, oh, this one I sit back down. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like,
you could tell how bad Nate wanted it.
Oh yeah, he
kept
wanted
doing
it.
the regroup, and then the horse got going. And it was just
looked
like,
off
dude.
Connor a few times.
Yeah.
Too.
What does Connor say on the bench, dude? After they change, he's like, "Hey, dude, I'm wide open. It's a 3-on-1."
Like, did you guys give him shit a little bit?
No, I would. Oh no.
Yeah,
you would. You would say something.
I wouldn't be here.
Sid,
I wouldn't be here. I'd be
Sid
dead.
could maybe,
Yeah.
right?
Probably
Sid
could.
There's a select few people who I think would probably give him shit, but I wasn't one of them, and I don't think anyone else was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one's questioning his choices out there.
You could maybe do it after you win.
Yeah.
Like middle of OT, saw on the bench, someone like this. Hey, pass the puck, Nate. Jesus Christ,
dude! How cool was it as a younger Canadian kid? Honestly, seeing the way the crowd reacts to Sid and all the hype and the pressure on Sid and all the stats. It's like he's never lost as a captain. To have him just come out there and be like 3 apples, player of the game, whatever, we win again. Like, what is that like seeing firsthand?
Yeah. Well, now that I got to experience being around him a little bit, it totally makes sense. This guy's
really
like, always calm. Nothing ever really flusters him too much. And then when they were like chanting his name at the player of the game, I was getting chills.
Same, dude.
I was like, oh my God. So I can only imagine how he felt. But that's something that like you can tell he's built for that and built for those moments. And he, like you said, 3 apples, like absolutely delivered.
Dude, Dan, did you have this? It was you or Grinnell. Somebody had this take, which I love, and I want your opinion. I haven't said it to you either.
Yeah.
That I'll be interested to see if playing in this tournament for Sid, which is like high stakes pressure, like he hasn't been in the playoffs for a couple years now. If this tournament just kind of gives him an itch, because he said so many times of like, I don't care, but I'm like, if you play in this and you hear that crowd and this atmosphere, and you're like, fuck, I do miss this a little bit.
Maybe I should move to Raleigh.
There we go.
That's interesting.
That's a take.
Now we're talking,
For
dude.
sure.
He really wants to play with Seth Jarvis. You know?
And fucking everyone does, dude. All the Nova Scotia boys.
I do.
It was cool. Like that was the first godlike Sidney Crosby experience I've seen in
Yeah.
person. Because that was wild, dude.
The whole
like we were
crowd.
joking at the ceremony in the beginning. He got a bigger cheer than Mario. Yeah. And I was like, dude, this is wild.
He's him.
He's him.
He's him.
And yeah, him stepping into this tournament, just having 3 assists was just like, this guy's hurt.
Yeah.
The oldest guy on the team, I think, right? It's
Yeah.
like, Jesus fucking
Is there any other players on the team, obviously besides Sid? I mean, he's Sid. That you were like super excited to play with, or maybe you were like didn't know how good they were. Like you knew how good they were, but like once you're, you know what I mean. Once you're in practice, and you see the little things, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, like the weird, like you know how fast McDavid is, but it's like insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. McCarr is another one that I don't like. He could be a forward, and he might be one of the best forwards in the NHL.
Yeah.
And he just decides to play D and just wheel the puck from behind the net.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow, more fun back here.
It's insane. But like you could go down the list, and like everyone is always gonna. I feel like in terms of this, especially, are always gonna be better than you probably imagine. And like we have so much skill up and down the lineup. Like the fact that Konechny's playing on our 4th is insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because like he's incredible.
Yeah, he's gross.
And so just the depth we have like in practice, our practices are nuts. No one misses a pass. Like, like if I flubbed a sauce in one of our practices, like a backhand sauce, and everyone's kind of staring at
This
me.
drill stops. Like full whistle. They're like,
oh God.
Hear a pin drop. They're like,
Yeah.
who's this guy?
I was like, who invited this guy?
Yeah.
But no, it's incredible.
Yeah. It must be just so awesome having that experience and being like, dude, the hockey world's been missing this for 10 years. And then you get on the ice with all those guys and then get on the ice against Sweden. Yeah. Just a totally different game. must have been like an experience that you've never even imagined.
No, never had anything close to that.
Yeah.
And so to be able to be a part of that was extremely special.
Yeah. Fucking A.
Dude, how about Binner, eh? I thought he played a great game. There was so many questions coming in, right, about like, Canada's goalies. But I thought he made some monster stops.
Yeah.
That one in overtime?
Dude,
huge. Yeah.
Insane. So that was great, dude. That must have, I'm sure the boys were rallying around that big time.
Oh, 100%. And I don't know if you guys have ever had the chance to meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a character. He's awesome. It's just steady. Like he was sitting in one of our meetings, like before the meeting, and he was just like locked in on the screen like this. And like, it must have been probably like 3 or 4 minutes. He didn't move. And it was just staring. And I was like, this isn't even a meeting for you. Like, this is the PK or something. And he's just sitting there. Like, he's like, you could tell he enjoys this and loves this big pressure moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, God, all the Blues said that in that 19 cup. Like, that chip on his shoulder, dude.
Yeah.
How early did he get the nod? Like, how early did you guys know it was Binner starting?
I don't think until the practice before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And do you know, have they said it's him going forward, or are you guys going to jumble, or who knows?
I'm not John Cooper. I got
Yeah.
Above his pay grade.
Yeah.
That's not quite. It doesn't run through me yet.
Yeah. That's fair enough.
But yeah, so for you, off the ice, how awesome has this experience been? Because you had that funny comment last year about the vacation over All-Star, and now here it is. Like, this is your break. You're in a cold snowstorm winter city in Canada, but like, you must be having a ball right now.
Oh, the best time of my life. I would never go on a break again if I could keep doing this.
Yeah.
But it's been everything I could have ever dreamed of and more. The best part for me is I know how great all these players are. I know how awesome they are on the ice, but to see them as a person, see them as like a human being, like going out to dinners with them, going shooting the shit at team meals and stuff, like I'm gonna live with those experiences forever.
Yeah.
I'll never trade that for anything.
Fuck yeah.
Like, I was eating dinner, I was at a table with Sid, McKinnon, McCarr, Taze, and like Reinhardt, and Bennett.
Yeah.
And then in the meal room, I'm sitting there, I like kind of sat back for a second. I'm like, what am I doing?
Where am I, dude?
This is like, they're just like telling stories, they're just talking shop.
Yeah.
And like, so there's so much stuff I can learn from these people. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's such an underrated part of it.
No, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, being a young guy like yourself, like being around that, just like being able to soak it in. And you said that's like a pinch me moment almost. Where you're like looking around like these all Hall of Famers, really, and you're getting to be a part of it and learn from them. And credit to you, though. I mean, you had a hell of a hockey game last night. Like, you were all over the ice. So you definitely should be in that lineup.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's. I mean, for us, the fans, and just people who love the game, seeing it and being like this. Like I said, we've been missing this. We need more of it. Hearing you guys feel that way even more is just fires us up so much. Because it is, that game had no business being as fast as it was.
Did it surprise
and I don't
you
think
guys?
it's slowing down anytime soon.
Did it surprise you guys how immediately intense it was? Or were you kind of like, this might go crazy?
Oh no, we were ready for an absolute all-out war.
Okay,
we were talking like I'd block a shot in my face if I needed to at this point. Like, for something like this, like it baffled me that people thought this wouldn't be taken seriously.
Dude, it was such a common narrative. I couldn't believe
it either.
Like,
from people in our world, dude.
Yeah.
Like, we've called some of them out, but I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
They're gonna go nuts.
insane.
Yeah.
Like I've like seeing like the big guys on our team like take it so seriously. Like, how am I not supposed to come in here and do absolutely everything I can to help this team win?
Yeah,
It's amazing.
How pumped are you for Saturday to play against some of your teammates?
Yeah, that'll be sweet. That Canada US is gonna be that's gonna be
Speaking of war, right? Like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, dude, I'm so ready.
What do you expect? Do you expect that game to be possibly maybe no puck in the first period? Like, guys are.
That's what I'm assuming is probably going to happen is a lot of body contact, but I mean, there's nothing else we'd rather do.
Yeah.
There's no other way we'd rather have. That's like the classic Canada US first period, first 10 minutes of just an all out war zone until everyone kind of settles in and starts playing again.
I can't wait to hear how hard Austin gets booed.
Dude, that was epic last night.
It's going to drown out the entire arena. The way Willie got booed.
Every time he touches the puck, probably.
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
100%. That's got to be such a added element too of just being like, this is like we've got the home nation here behind us.
Oh, totally. Like when Willie was on there and he was getting booty, smiled at the camera. Like that was awesome.
It was so
Just
awesome.
leaned right into it. That was
He's so
money.
perfect with that stuff.
He is
He's
great for it. He's great
That
for
was
it.
money.
Oh, dude. Well, I mean, we'll close you out, but I mean,
Wait,
what
I have
fucking
one thing before we
blast.
let him go.
Yeah, hit him.
Not Four Nations related, but I'm just curious. How has it been on the hometown team with post trade?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, like we've talked about before, we lost 2 guys that have been with the team for a while. Key parts of our locker room, like Netchie's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
So for me, that was kind of the first trade where I lost someone extremely close to me.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, but to get what we got back in return, like to get Rance back, like it'd be hard not to make that trade.
Yep. He's huge, eh? I couldn't believe, dude. He's like one of the biggest people I've ever seen.
It's so radical. I don't know why it doesn't translate when you're watching him, but then you see him in person, you're like, wait, are you a fucking giant? He's huge.
Like I met him first, I shook his hand. I looked like a legitimate 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Like looking up at him, and and you can tell right away he's an absolute game changer. Like, he's someone that can affect the game in so many ways, and is going to be a real big positive for us.
It's awesome.
But and even for him, like leaving it, he's been with them for how
Whole
long?
life, dude. Like his whole pro career. Yeah. It's crazy.
So like I can only imagine what it's like for him. Yeah. So obviously it takes a little bit of an adjustment period, but I'm imagining it's gonna be awesome when he gets settled in.
Show him the Raleigh bars, dude. Make him feel at home. Yeah.
Take him on a tour.
Yeah.
Pretty sick. Him playing with Fishy during this tournament. Like,
very
that's
sick.
Going to be such a nice added adjustment for him coming back to Raleigh.
Yeah.
That'll be great.
100%, and then they'll probably trade for another Finn, and then I'll be back. Playing God knows where.
Yeah, you're going the other way, dude.
We'll take him in
somewhere
LA.
else.
Yeah, there we go.
We'll bring him to Southern California.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Well, dude, I mean, obviously, bunch of big games left, but just your final thoughts, like how you feeling?
Yeah,
getting
how the
into
vibes?
rest of this trip. Vibes as high as they could be.
Couldn't be higher.
Yeah.
Could not be higher. This is amazing.
Fuck yeah, dude. I love it. Well, dude, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck, Jerry. You are what this league needs right now, by the way. You're
Damn right.
fucking,
Thank
you
you.
know,
That's
great.
the truth.
It's
dude.
truth.
Like
I
the
appreciate it.
the
It's
way
amazing.
you do shit like this is just it's good for the game, and you're a star, dude.
I'm a Seth Jarvis
You're a
fan.
shining star.
Good
Thank
luck.
you, man.
Good luck
Thank
the rest
you
of the
guys
way.
very much.
It felt like Christmas morning the day that we found out that we were becoming Bauer athletes and Bauer brand ambassadors. Truly. I mean, as a hockey player, Bauer is the gold standard. It is that unbelievable brand that you look at and trust and know that is the best in the business because they have been making the best gear from day one. The second you touch the ice and you start skating around, when you put Bauer stuff on, you feel like a pro because that is what Bauer tries to do with every single thing they make. From their wheels all the way up to the buckets, it's the best in show. No doubt about it. We're here in Montreal for Four Nations. We had an unbelievable Bauer event. And at the event, they had this museum, this hall of sticks, dating from the very first ones that Bauer has ever made to the latest, which we're going to talk about right now, the Twitch. I was going through that catalog of sticks, looking at all these twigs I used in the past. The Vapor 20, that was my jam. Looked like Batman stick. It was this like black Kevlar vibe. But now we got the Twitch going. And this thing is truly changing the game in hockey sticks. That kick point, the touch, the feel, the way that your release snaps off like nothing you've ever seen before. It is going to take your game to the next level, whether it be passing, shooting, whatever it is. The Bauer Twitch is the best stick I have ever used in my life. True story. Tucking goals in Vail a couple weeks ago. I'm telling you, you will never look back when you change to the Twitch. It is the next level stick from a next level company. Bauer does it like no one else. Bauer is, as I said, the gold standard. So make sure you get set up. You go to BauerHockey.com, check out all of their gear and get that new twig for yourself because it's going to take your game to the next step.
Right after game 1 of the Four Nations tournament, Canada versus Sweden, and we have a very honored guest. Juice himself, Adrian Kempe. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, boys.
I mean, the fact that you're here after a tough OT loss just shows what a good person you are. And you need everyone to know that.
Yeah, because he said yes before the game. And then they lost. And I was like, oh,
Should have said no this morning.
Hey, that's big brain stuff. That's why you asked before.
Yeah,
Because I knew he'd say yes, and then he can't back out. That's why you got to do it that way.
exactly.
How quickly did you realize that this was not going to be a shinny tournament?
I mean, kind of like on warm-ups, we came out and
Yeah.
it was packed right away. You're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then like with the ceremony and everything before, the fans were into it. It was crazy. And then, yeah, I mean, first shift when they came out flying, so you're just like, all right, you're going to have to pick it up here a little bit. And the first 10 minutes was probably the craziest 10 minutes I've ever played.
Yeah.
Like being on the opposite side of it, it's just like I have never seen a team come out like that. It was wild.
Dude, the fact that it was, well, first of all, like you said, in the ceremony.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know they were going to do that whole presentation thing, right?
Yeah,
which was
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I know is kind of a grind for you guys because you're like, I'm just sitting here. I just skate it, let's go. But I was dying at like the dudes who kind of were double trouble for the fans. So like Willie Nylander,
Yeah.
Swede and Leaf.
Yeah.
Matthews comes out American and Leaf. Like, like the
Seward.
That's when I really noticed the crowd, the boos that you guys were getting. I was like, oh my God.
When Sid came.
Yeah, the roar.
Yeah.
You got a bigger cheer than Mario.
It was.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
We were dying. Obviously, like you said, the first 10 minutes was a shotgun. We were like, holy shit. That barn was out of control. That team was out of control. The power play goal, immediate.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely tough. You come out and get a penalty.
Bad call,
Whatever.
too.
I haven't seen it, to be honest.
Dude,
so.
bad call.
What actually was the call? Because I was walking. You guys were
It's
in
a
the
high
seats.
stick, I think.
Was it? That's pretty much all they called.
It was a
eh?
high
Yeah,
stick.
you had to call the high sticks.
I saw
Yeah.
it.
Come on. It was a little soft. In the
saw
first,
it.
5 minutes.
It was. I saw. I know Juice is here, but it was.
Yeah,
I saw it.
yeah.
It was by the bench.
I haven't
It was a
seen
high
it,
stick.
but
Yeah.
it's a tough way to
But
start
they
for
evened
sure.
it up. They got more seats
Yes,
later on.
that's
Same
right.
thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
In that first, the beginning of the game, what was the coolest moment for you? Was it the anthem? Was it the warm-ups? Was it the first shift?
I mean, kind of warm-ups. I didn't expect it to be that packed when I came out right away. So that was definitely something that I haven't been a part of before, where you come out and it's pretty much just all the fans sold out already. Everybody's in the stands, So you get excited for that. And then, I mean, first 10 minutes was like cool, but like not cool because I was on the other side of it.
Yeah,
but once you settle the nerves a little bit, you calm down. I think after that, you kind of, everybody on our team were like, all right, now we're relaxed, now we play.
How did it compare to Habs games? Because obviously the Bell Center packs itself all the time.
Yeah.
But this one's different.
Yeah, it was different. They do have great fans, and they're like really loud, obviously. So a little bit similar, like during the game, with how intense the fans are. Like every time someone touches the puck, every time they get on not even they get a chance, but every time they touch the puck, everybody started going nuts in the crowd, and it's just like it's a little bit of similarities there. But it was something different for sure. It was one of the loudest buildings I've ever played in.
My question is, we're watching the game the first 10 minutes, and you talk about it, is the speed of it. Like the difference of playing with the Kings and regular NHL and then playing in this.
Yeah.
Was that like extremely noticeable for you?
Yeah. I mean, in the beginning, I felt like, because, I haven't been on the other side of it, but, I can only imagine like being, that Canada team coming out with the fans in the back who are just like so excited to play. The puck drops. You're just like, doesn't matter if you feel like terrible out there, you're just flying, you're just doing everything. And like basically every line they had for the first 10 minutes were just buzzing, and there's everything was just going right. Got a power play goal early, and then you just ride the wave for the first 10 minutes. So that was it was hard for us, but I think after that the crowd settled down a little bit, and then we started rolling a little
Dude,
bit more.
what did you say? Because we've all been playing on teams where you're kind of like, we're the road team, and you're like, all right, boys, just weather the first 5 minutes. You're like, that's kind of the messaging, and then they score in 30 seconds. What did you guys, if anything, say on the bench after that power play goal? Were you like, regroup, it's fine, or was everybody just like shell shocked, not speaking?
Well, I think after that they were kind of still riding it, so we were just like kind of in the moment, and then they get the second goal, and then that was kind of the moment I feel like we're like, all right, let's calm down here a little bit. We a little bit on our heels, everything. We're just tried to, in the beginning, I think we didn't even try to make any plays. We were just chipping the puck out in, and they were just coming at us every time. So I think kind of after the second goal, I think everybody on the bench were like, all right, let's take a step back, let's chill here a little bit, go back to the things we do, like just play a little bit more, like not, you have the nerves in the beginning, but now it's been 10 minutes, so now we can take it easy. And obviously it's tough being down 2-0 after 10 minutes.
Before you had a shot, dude. You guys hadn't had a shot on goal.
No, I know,
yet,
exactly.
And
I was
like,
looking
oh,
at the
God.
scoreboard and I was like, someone has to get a shot.
Shoot the puck, boy.
They robbed Willie. Willie had one backhander. I was like, that was on net.
Yeah,
that's what I thought too.
But they only had 7 shots on goal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easy to say now, but was there a moment like after that second goal? Did you guys know you were like we're gonna be fine, or was there a part of you that was like Jesus Christ,
It's about to be 10-0.
Get rinsed here? Like what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, part of me thought that, I mean, we should play a lot better than this. Like even they're flying, we still have a lot of skill. We have to, start making some plays and then everything. But at the same time, you're like, wow, are they gonna like keep playing like this for another 50 minutes? It's gonna be crazy. But after that, I think we started making some more plays. You can see them back off a little bit more. We got a couple of ozone shifts, and you can tell that once we started to get a little bit of a roll in the ozone, they're just like us. It's like hard to play with new guys all the time, new system, everything, and they have a lot of skill, obviously. But once we took advantage of, again, easy stuff, getting the pucks behind their D, forechecking, all that kind of stuff, we started playing a lot better. And then when we felt like we had that rhythm going, I think we started getting a little bit of a roll.
For sure. I always wonder with this stuff. So like we've talked about this before, but since the youth days, this is the first time you've played in a serious best on best tournament. Did you fly here with Dewey?
Yeah, I did.
How quickly does communication stop? Like, did you guys step off the plane and you were like, I'll see you in LA?
No, we were actually on we met at the airport, obviously, and then he walked by me. He flew coach. I was in first class. So that was funny.
Dude, absolute ricocheted.
That is a nugget.
Oh my God.
What a late ad loser. He's probably sitting in a middle seat, too.
Yeah. So he was pissed right off the start there. But then after that, we actually took the Uber together from the airport here to the hotel.
Okay.
I dropped him off, and then we went to our hotel.
He dropped him off at the Motel 8 and then went to the...
Yeah.
Or he drops him off down the street and said, Dewey, get out and walk. I'm going to go to my hotel now.
No, then we've been texting a little bit back and forth before the game. After the game, we texted a little bit too.
Nice.
But
Okay.
He texted me right after the game. He was a little pissed.
Oh, well, dude, have you seen Gav's comment yet?
Yeah, I saw
Amazing. If anyone is unaware, immediately your goal, which we'll get to, gets posted, and Gavrikov just comments and tags Dewey in it because you score right through Dewey. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, it was fun.
I want to hear about how that felt. Like, were you immediately like, oh, fuck yeah, that was nasty? Or were you just too fired up to even register what just happened?
A little bit too fired up. Like, I got the puck from Carlson. I saw that it was Dewey right away. I saw they had a shitty gap.
Dude, hold on. He said last night, dude. We were talking to him last night, and he goes, "Who turned it over?" He was pissed. He's like, or like someone got blown by Carlson.
It was just such a nasty play by Carlson.
Yeah, it was
What he
great.
said is he thought Carlson was going to dump it in.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So he was cheating on the dump.
Yeah.
And then Carlson made that play to him, which was a sick
Yeah.
play.
He like
And
stopped
was
on the
like,
red
oh,
line,
shit.
and then I came like second wave.
And
And
then he had zero gap.
Dewey's like, my gap was so shit. Dude.
Yeah.
So pissed.
He was like, dude, the second Juice got it, stepped over the blue line, I was like, fuck me. And then bang, goal.
Yeah. I was going to try to first, because he was like kind of standing still. So I was like, do I try to walk him here or do I try to shoot it? And I was like, he probably thinks that I'm going to try to dangle him there just because it's me.
Yeah.
But try to use him as a screen pretty much. And then,
Yeah. Oh, that was sick.
All time.
I risked my life, dude. I risked my life celebrating.
You
that
didn't.
goal.
Where's Marco? Dan jumped up in the air. We were all pretty fired up. We jumped up in the seats.
Yeah.
And Dan,
Shout out, this is Marco's house.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we're
And I'm
we're
like-
surrounded by Canadian fans.
And I'm
dude.
just beaking, grabbing my sweater. And Marco was like, sit the fuck down.
With his sweet
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to change the locks on you.
yeah, that was so funny. Incredible. Dude,
Is it awesome playing against Dewey, or is it like, just part of the business?
No, both. I mean, when you're out there, you don't like think about it too much, obviously. But then you see him before face-off or something, you just look at him, you smile or something like that. So it's pretty cool. Like first time I ever played against him. So it's obviously different playing against a guy you played with for almost 9 years. So it was pretty cool. Like I said, different.
Yeah, for sure.
dude, we were talking about Carlson, right? Like, tell us a little bit about, and then you too, like what it was like watching him last night.
I mean, last night I thought he was incredible last night. Like I mean, obviously he's in Pittsburgh and everyone talks about, this past scoring 100 points, but last night he looked like a guy that was the 100-point guy we saw a couple years ago. He was electric. I thought last night.
Agree.
Yeah, he was great. I thought he was really good too. Like all over the ice, like defensively, offensively, you can like see just when he just decides to skate, like Jesus Christ, it's crazy how good of a skater he is. So,
even like loose pucks, like pucks get behind him, and I'm like, oh, there's gonna be a close battle here, and then Carlson just takes off, easily has it, goes behind the net breakout, no problem.
Yeah, he opens up that next gear. That you're like, oh, does he have that still? And you're like, oh yeah,
exactly.
He sure does.
Is there a guy on the team that like coming into this tournament that you didn't know that well, or he's one of those guys now that you're on his team, you're like, oh my god, this guy is so sick. I didn't realize how good he is.
No, not that I didn't know. Like, I'm gonna talk about Forsling, but only because, but I know him really well, and I grew up playing with him a lot. Yeah. But then we don't play Florida that much. We don't see him that often. But I think when I saw him, like just in practice and the game yesterday, I was like, wow, like it's incredible how.
I said that to you last night. He's so
how good he's become, and like especially going back the years before too. And like he's been on some different teams, I don't know if he got claimed on waivers and all that kind of stuff. And
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just see him play and you're just like, Jesus Christ, this guy is like
he must be
one of the best
pissed.
defensive guys I've played against and played with for sure. Yeah. So he's one of the guys, the top guys for sure.
He might be the answer. I was going to ask, is there anyone that you played with growing up that you were psyched to get back on a team with?
Yeah, him for sure. Like Willie, I haven't played with in a while. So that was, it's pretty cool to be on his team again. Like we played World Jays and all that kind of stuff growing up. Yeah. But yeah, the last 7-8 years only played against him. So that was it's pretty cool to see, just how he works, in practice, all that kind of stuff, and then obviously in the games as well. So it's I was pretty excited to be his teammate again for sure.
That's sweet. Yeah. Juice, the Theodore play. Could you hear anything? Like, was it when you, because it was like an awkward bump. It didn't look like anything to us. Mm-hmm. Did you hear him? Was he like, oh, fuck, right away?
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I heard him in the intermission that he got hurt, and someone said that it was because I hit him, but I couldn't remember the play. So I saw it after the game, and I was like, wow, I had no clue that he got hurt because of that. Yeah. So that was obviously unfortunate.
Yeah. I actually think we did chilling at the Far Blue with Juice, and we made fun of him for not checking enough. And then he comes out and kills Theodore in the first period. And I was like, this was our fault. I did that.
You had a couple good hits last night.
Yeah.
I think I saw you ended up with like 4 or 5 hits.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's a career high, season high.
Season high.
Does it feel cool to be the goon of the tournament so far?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's someone has to unseat him now, which is pretty special.
Dude, I thought you guys especially, but in the whole game, you guys were throwing body more than I was expecting, kind of. And maybe it was because you were down, and it was like, hey, let's get in the game a bit. But I was impressed. Like Flip was out there smashing people on the forecheck. I was like, let's go.
Yeah,
dude.
there's a lot of guys that hit, especially after those first 10 minutes. After that, I think everybody was we were playing really physical, and not just the bigger guys, but the smaller guys too. Were,
definitely
playing heavy. So that was.
I feel like there was such a noticeable momentum shift. Like you said, after that first 10 minutes, you guys reeled it in. Obviously, you got the score close again. When Darlene dumped McDavid, it was like seeing your bench. Everyone jumped up, and then all the Swedish fans in this crowd were like, "Fuck yeah, let's go!" I'm telling you, the ice shifted after that. So noticeable. It was like it truly felt like Dolls was like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah. And then it was also like, all right, we're taking this game over. That was awesome.
Yeah, he's strong as hell. It's like when he gets pissed at you or something, he can just do that. And I feel like he's done that to me during this regular season sometimes too. You hit him and then he just gives you one back, and you're just like, Jesus Christ.
Man, that was such a, looking at your, obviously there's so much talent all over the ice. Like I think you tweeted it. You were like, this is the best hockey we'll ever watch. And I think that is accurate, honestly. Looking at your decor, there are times where you're just like, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, I think OT was a great example. Heidi got stuck out there for like 2.5 minutes and ate like 4 one-on-ones and just stopped them all. Yeah. It must be insane playing with all of those guys.
Yeah, they're all unbelievable. Like, doesn't matter who you're out there with. It's like they just make plays. Like, they're so good defensively, all of them pretty much. And it's just like... yeah, I mean, it's so fun and easy as a forward to play with because, like, they're just making the right plays pretty much every time. And, like, in D zone, take care of it. We got some big, strong D back there, That's just, they're just doing the right things every time, which is fun. Yeah.
Was there a pinch me moment last night? Like, for me, sitting there, especially in overtime, watching, and then them Team Canada putting McKinnon, McCarr, McDavid over the boards, and watching that, like witnessing that. Was there a moment last night for you, like a pinch moment, where you're like, "Wow, I'm in this game right now"?
Yeah, I mean, I was out there one shift against those guys in the OT, and we're
Like, yeah, it was that shift.
we're taking the draw in the ozone, and I'm like, yeah, it was me, Petey, and I can't remember who was on D, and yeah, it was McKinnon, McDavid, and McCarr, and I'm like, so who do you got?
Yeah. He actually saw that. You lined up. I think it was also on their power play.
Yeah.
You were on, and we could see you talk. I think you were talking with Flip or something.
Yeah.
But it was clear you guys were like, "Who the fuck are we covering?" Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that was kind of the thing, and then you're like, yeah, like you said, like when McKinnon picked up speed, like 5-6 times, just going end to end, and then yeah, I mean, it's hard to stop, and especially 3-on-3 for 10 minutes. It's just like you're gonna trade chances back and forth, and I think we had some great chances too. But you know,
Oh
it's
my
hard.
God, for sure.
Yeah,
I thought it was over on the. I think it was Razor and Forsberg. Was that who it was?
No, I think it was Willie.
It was Bratt and Willie. It was Bratt and Willie.
right
They were
before
2-on-1.
yeah,
I was like, it's over.
I thought that was gonna be it.
Yeah,
too.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, the crowd would start cheering as soon as one of those three guys would just start to skate. Like
Yeah,
Nate would get the
I
puck
know.
and like take 3
Yeah.
strides, and the crowd was like, "Oh,
Yeah, I know.
And I was like, "This is a nightmare."
That's a similarity with when you play the Canadians too. I feel like when someone picks up the puck, everybody's starting going nuts.
Really?
It's like
you're
it's like a prem game.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's like the crowd
Yeah.
goes nuts when they have the ball.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly,
it's
yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
On that topic, dude, how much different is it? Because I feel like line matching is such a huge thing in the NHL, and you know who's on the ice, who's against you, what type of line they are.
Yeah.
With this much skill, how much different is that? Is it just like every shift you're like, Jesus Christ, this is some of the best players in the world? It's
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you definitely obviously have to know when you're out there against maybe McKinnon or McDavid. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I think we talked about it before a little bit, and they're gonna try to coach some lines against some other lines, but we'll see how it goes, obviously. But yeah, I mean, there's so much skill, so it's hard to just play one line against one line the entire game. So I think everybody did a pretty good job. I think 5-on-5 against all those guys. But after something, we're just talking about being on the right side against McDavid, McKinnon, all those guys, because it's if you're on the wrong side, it's pretty much going to hurt you 50% of the times every time. So it's like it's tough. But yeah, I think once we settled in, I think it was fine. Whoever line was out there, I think did a pretty good job.
Dewey's out there. They're like, take some
Yeah.
chances. Go.
Dude,
Try.
his gap sucks. Gap sucks all night. Dude, did you anytime I'm a part of a comeback, there's usually a moment where I'm like, we are winning because this just happened, when on that Gus save on Taze was fucking insane.
Oh my God.
That's one of the best saves I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Did you guys go nuts in that moment? Was that like a we're doing it moment?
Yeah, that was crazy. Like I was sitting at the bench, I had the perfect angle when Taves got the puck.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, that's in.
And then he comes out of nowhere, and you're like, Jesus Christ! And now you're like, after that, you start going even more.
Yeah,
You're even more excited, and you get more momentum from that. So that was, yeah. Gus played unbelievable.
Oh my
last
God.
night.
For sure.
You guys all did. It was. I mean, that comeback was so electric.
Yeah.
Have they said, and maybe you don't know or you can't say, which is fine too, but is it Gus the whole way, or are they like, we're figuring it out?
No clue actually.
No clue. Yeah,
so
cool.
I don't know.
How? I mean, like I said, obviously losing an OT sucks, but sick to get the point, make that comeback, show everyone you can play with anyone. What has the chatter been like in the locker room today? Like, are you guys fired up? Can't wait for the next game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously we were frustrated after the game. Felt like OT could have gone either way. We could have gotten the 2 points, obviously, but we get the 1 point. I think we're really confident and really, showed good character in the third period coming back.
Definitely.
Against, Canada in the arena like that with all the fans. So I think we all know that we can play with, the best teams. And moving on now, I think, we were confident going into the game against Finland on Saturday. Obviously, now we got 1 point. Now we probably have to win the last two to go to the championship game. But I think we played good enough to win the last game. I think we all know that. So I think the confidence in the group is still really high.
Yeah, that's huge. There's a moment I was like, they're going to win in regulation.
Yeah.
Like after Joel's goal, I was like, this is holy shit.
I would say even who got the third stoner.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say even that goal fell against the run of play. Like I thought you guys were about to tie it.
We had a great chance right before that.
Yeah.
And he just swung in,
Yeah.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah, so I wasn't that surprised to see it get that close.
So coming from you're the Kings, and I always think about this, like, you're coming to a national team and you're playing a tournament like this, your roles change, right? Like you're usually first PK guy, first power play guy, and then you come here and you're playing on a team where, everyone's roles change and you adjust, right? So how has that been? I mean, for other guys too.
Yeah. No, it's definitely different. You're coming, like you said, playing 21, 22 minutes during the regular season, first PP, first PK, and now you come in here, play. I don't know how much I played, maybe like 16 minutes with OT yesterday. So it's different, obviously. I think the good thing about our team, we all know each other really well. I think we're all we're all going to buy into the roles that we get right now. And I feel like everybody has done a really good job with that. Whenever you're playing PK or you're playing PP, for me, I was like, PK, I play PK1 now here, which is like pretty cool. All the best players obviously didn't work last night, so I'll have to do a better job with that. But you have to take the role and make something positive out of it. And I think, like I said, the team we're really close. Everybody knows each other from before. We've played with each other before, so everybody is buying into the roles really well, which is, I think, important, and especially in such a short tournament with a couple of practices and then you play. So I think, it's been good so far.
How do you feel about this tournament in general, in the sense of, like, we always talk about All-Star? It's such an honor, obviously, to be named an All-Star, but it's really the one break you guys get in the season. So a lot of guys are like, no, it's nice to have a break, spend time with family. But now here we are doing this different thing from the player's perspective, because, dude, for us, it was like, I think I said to these guys, that was the most fun I've had at a game in like 5 years. That's not to say I don't have fun. It was just so exciting for all of us.
Yeah.
For you guys, has this whole experience been like, no, this is sick?
I think it's been sick. Obviously, coming into the tournament, you're like banged up, everything. The break is coming up. You're like, it would have been nice with a break, reset the body, everything. But then once you get here, start practicing, seeing all the guys, and now, you're coming into the game, you're like, I mean, this is pretty sick too. Like, this is like playing the game yesterday. I thought it was one of the most fun games I've ever played in.
Hell yeah.
So, I mean,
that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Like, that's just so awesome.
Yeah. And we still get the breaks in between games. Now they have 2 days until the next game. I feel like if it was every other day, probably would have been more tough on the body and all that kind of stuff. Now we have some time to relax, didn't practice today, chilled today, and then tomorrow we can, go have a good practice, and then we play Saturday again. So I think for me, I think it's it's been great, and I would want to do this every year if I could.
Fuck yeah. I was gonna, we talked about it a little bit, but you kind of just answered it. How much does this increase the itch for Olympics?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Olympics that's a dream, you've had since you were a kid, and you only get the chance to play in maybe one, maybe a couple. But I mean, for me, it's that's the main goal, and I can only imagine, like, this is a sick tournament because it's in Canada, obviously, with all the Canadian fans and everything going around. But I think Olympics is, that's going to be, different vibe, but still, like, it's going to be crazy.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyone been funny in the locker room? Who's the class clown on Team Sweden?
I don't know, actually. I mean, we don't have a Dewey in that locker room, but
Hard shoes to fill.
yeah.
I mean, Carl's kind of
Carl's
yeah.
he's great. He's probably the most loud guy in the locker room, and he's been around, so I
was gonna say, I like
a lot of
that from the
stories,
vet.
and all that kind of stuff, which
Yeah.
is fun. Yeah, it's great.
How about my boy Victor Hedman as a captain? How has he been? Is Hetty a vocal guy? Is he a guy that just kind of beats to his own drum and just leads by example?
Kind of both, I think. I think he is pretty vocal in the room. More so maybe when it comes around game time, and talk to the boys, everything, what we should do, communicate, all that kind of stuff. But then he's also like a guy like Kopi that just goes out and do it on the ice, and you just shows his his aura and all that kind of stuff on the ice, which is like great captain, unbelievable player. So it's he's a great captain. I think they made the right decision.
He's like,
that was another moment when they put him and Carlson together as a deep pairing. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
here we go.
Yeah.
You know? It was awesome.
Yeah, it's so cool. Well, closing you out, is there anything that especially you're looking forward to, or is it just, everything? Just can't wait for next game, can't wait to keep rocking?
No, I mean, it's so much fun I had last night. I mean, I'm just looking forward to the next game, and obviously Finland's going to be a big rivalry for us.
Yeah.
That's going to be an intense game, I think, too.
I think so too.
I'm excited about the crowd for you guys in that game, because obviously last night was so one-sided. It's like opening game Canada here, but I'm interested to see the Sweden-Finland game where I'm like, how does that shake out?
Yeah,
that'll be sick.
I think it's going to be. I think there were so many Swedish fans last night. It was so exciting to see. And I think some people, a lot of the people that are here that are coming to all the games and they don't know anything about it, I think they're sleeping on that game.
I think so too. I think the game yesterday was really intense. I think just kind of the. I don't want to say hate we have between each other, Sweden and Finland, but there's always been a rivalry there. So I think it's going to be a physical game.
I also think I was scared. I brought my Sweden beanie to this trip, and I was scared to wear it last night because for the Canada game, I was like, I don't want to get rolled up on. I know he wasn't. But
I had my shirt on under it too.
Yeah, but against the Finns, I'm less scared. I'll wear it.
Actually, Sean, I have a shirt for you that you have to take. Yeah. It's got him on it. All right, dude. Well, you're the fucking best for coming through. I can't thank you enough. But let's get 2 wins.
Yeah. Good luck rest of the way, dude.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Hell yeah. Appreciate it.
Taking a quick time out to tell you that this episode is brought to you by our friends at BetterHelp. Having a support system can change everything. Whether it's a therapist or a mentor, we need to shift away from this I can do it all myself attitude and realize that we are all better with a support system behind us. No mentor or therapist or anybody has all the answers, but talking it through can be a major, major assist in the way that you can handle all the challenges in everyone's lives, right? So BetterHelp is here for you, and it's an incredible opportunity. All you have to do is go to betterhelp.com/netters. That's betterhelp.com/netters, and you get 10% off your first month. BetterHelp is fully online. It's affordable. They're servicing over 5 million people already. There's 30,000 credentialed therapists there, and you can switch at no extra cost. So it really makes it as easy as possible for you to get involved and be a part of this and be a part of a solution in dealing with the challenges in everyday life. So go check out betterhelp.com/netters right now.
Huge thank you to Seth Jarvis and Adrian Kempe for coming on and sharing the whole story of the 4 nations and what's going on here.
So good.
Takes us right to Thursday. That's day 1.
God.
That takes us right to Thursday.
Yep. So Thursday we go into USA Finland. Obviously for us, huge. Was like, can't wait to see how the guys do. What a weird game.
Yes, actually.
It was a weird game as far as wanted to see how USA came out. Obviously, all these teams have the same level of crazy skill and speed. And I feel like that game came out bruising way more than I thought. But before we even get into the game, do we want to talk about the anthem now?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, because it kind of, didn't they play? No. Did they?
They said beforehand, please do not.
Yeah. That's right. Yep.
Everyone's country.
And they've said that every game, by the way, to be clear. It's not like they were aiming at the U.S. Before every game, they're like, please respect the anthems.
Yeah. They said it before Sweden's anthem. And it's
I
don't think anyone was going to boo the Swedish national anthem,
No.
guys. So it's obviously been a huge point of discussion. They've asked all the players about it, but there's testy times going on right now with the U.S. and Canada with President Trump, and people are booing the national anthem.
Yep.
Let's get into it. How do we feel about it?
Dude, and people were booing it in
Don't do it.
like Raptors games, I heard, like even before this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's kind of been like
the national anthem is being sung in Canada right now. It's getting booed.
Yeah, dude.
They did it at Erin's P-Dub game.
Oh yeah, she said that. Yeah, she's like they booted at my game too.
I would just say, like, obviously it goes without saying you show respect for everyone's country, but when I think of someone booing anybody's country like that, you have to think about the military vets.
Yes.
Right? If you have a military vet next to you, if you're a person who stands and you're booing,
such a good call, dude.
What the fuck do you think is going to happen?
Dude, in the USA Canada game, they brought out a Canadian military veteran.
Yeah.
who has the utmost respect for U.S. veterans, and he sang, and they still booed.
Booed it louder than I've ever heard.
Don't
anything.
be a fucking donkey.
Yeah. Yep. It's for me. It's like we're not going to get political on this show. We never do. We never will.
No.
I get it. I get the feelings behind it. We all do. We all get it. But to me, it's like this is one of those things where it's like I understand the frustrations. I understand the emotions behind it. This is not the response. I think you have so many players, both on obviously Team USA. The Kachuk boys have been very vocal. JT Miller's been very vocal. Like, yeah, it sucks. I don't do it. But Canadian players are also saying don't do it. Like we heard Jonathan Marchessault a while ago give a great speech about it. Brad Marchand was like, don't boo the anthem.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just this amazing tournament, this amazing moment where these guys, who many of which are teammates, and the majority of which now call the United States home and love it. This, I don't think, is the forum to do it. I do want to say I'm incredibly sympathetic to the situation, and I do understand, but I don't think that's what this tournament is about.
Agree, and you said it better about think about a military vet, but I'm even like, think about the Charlie McAvoy just standing on the blue line, that he's like, dude, I'm at this really cool tournament that I'm trying to remember, and you are frustrated with politics in my country. Like, can't just let me play hockey? I'm here in your country to play in a hockey tournament. You're ruining this for me. I'm like, that sucks too.
Yeah. Especially from a nation too of like, we love Canada. We love it here. We love all these people. And you don't want to, put a sour taste in any of these guys' mouths. Like, I went to Canada and they booed the veterans who sacrificed their lives for me. And that sucks. Like that blows.
And I love singing both anthems. Like,
dude, me too. I was singing.
I was like singing the Canadian.
I have videos on my phone, dude. Literally, I'm like screaming as loud as I can, singing "O Canada."
It was incredible.
Such a gas anthem.
So it's just a quick touch on it, but it's just a wild thing. And I'm like, I don't think that's what this is about.
Yep.
I think it's good to raise the issues, but do it in a different forum.
Yeah,
is what I would say. But anyway, into that USA Finland game. How wild was the third period? Like, Finland strikes first,
which I actually thought was a little soft from Hellebuck on that first one.
Yeah,
and there were the questions of like,
it made me nervous.
Me too. I was like, God.
Because we talked about playoff Helly, right?
Yeah.
He was like, this is a huge game. Like, what's going to happen? And then he kind of lets in a weak one. Certainly for his standard, he's like, I want that back. You could see his body language, too. He was like, fucking, how did that go?
Yeah.
And the USA they were a little sloppy, too, in the first
power play
period.
looked awful.
Power play looked bad. I was like, oh, boy.
Jesus
Here we
Christ.
go.
Yeah. And, then he, Brady gets a greasy one, ties it up.
Yeah.
And then third period, dude, the floodgates got blasted wide open.
We had dinner. That was the Medusa night, right?
That was Wednesday. That was Canada-Sweden night.
That was Canada-Sweden night?
No.
Right?
Wait. It was
Thursday. Oh, my
Thursday.
gosh. See, don't ask me, man.
So, dude, we all...
I had no idea, though.
I don't remember which
Where
one
did
it
we
was.
eat dinner on Wednesday? Wait, what? It was Wednesday? Dude,
Hold
I have
on.
no idea what's going on.
Hold on. Wednesday, we went to the gym. No. And then
No, we went there early.
we just went to the game.
Yeah,
We went to the game early. Yeah. Okay. And then Thursday, Medusa.
Mm-hmm.
So Thursday, our crew, everyone here is sitting at dinner, and I think Marco maybe was asking about the game, and I said to the whole table that Finland's tough to play against. I think US is better. I think they're much better, but Finland's tough to play against, and I think it could be a game where USA is looking really good, but they're up 2-1 in the third, and we're all pulling our hair out. We start the third period. That's the exact score, and I text the thread, and I go, what did I tell you, boys? Tough, frustrating game. US up 2-1. My night. Just like I said, I knew everything. Literally, like the service is tough in the Bell Center. By the time that text went through, it was 5-1.
Yeah, it was Freebird the rest of the period.
I was like, oh, sorry, that was a terrible take. I don't know why I said that.
Freebird.
Oh, yeah. That was great too. I bet the over.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, this great bet, DP. And then it was just like goal. And I was like, yeah, how about that, dude? I wasn't sweating at all.
Insane.
But great part about that game, as we've said. I mean, so much talent all over the ice, but there's been a huge spotlight on the Kachuk boys because like I said, they've been incredibly vocal. They're so good with their little sound bites and everything they're saying. They're, talking about everything about this tournament. And the fact that those two come out, both have 2 goals, seeing them in the locker room after the game, dapping each other up, again, we talk about Crosby answering the bell, like a lot of spotlight on those two, and then they come out and show up instantly.
I don't know if there's anybody that cares more about this tournament than those 2 brothers.
I completely agree.
Right?
For any nation.
Like the way that, they're talking to the media, like they're hitting everything on the ice. Like the way Brady, like he finished every single check.
Yep.
I mean, these guys are all in on this tournament, and you're seeing it. Like
I don't even remember seeing it in the game. There's a clip going around the internet of Brady finishing a check on Dewey.
Yeah,
and
I saw
he
it.
Absolutely pops it.
It was huge.
And
shit.
I was like, dude, he is a freight train out there.
Dude, I'm with you guys in terms of, we talk about Sid's MJ moment, that and different stakes for sure, but
Sure.
I kind of felt that way with those 2, where I was like, oh, I wonder if the Chucks can rise up to this moment after all the heat they've been talking. It's like, dude,
well, and
two goal
and
game.
in that game, Sullivan, he put them together in the second period with Eichel, right? And
Changed everything.
Yeah, and we were like, oh, here we go.
The second that sandwich happened,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. And I'll tell you, man, that line would maybe be the best line in the NHL.
Yeah,
Just the way they play, like the way you've got Brady finishing every check, digging out every puck. You've got Jack's vision. You've got Matthews' goal scoring ability. It's like, that would be insane.
Yeah.
They've been insane. God. I mean, what a shit line to play against. Holy hell.
Yep.
Think about that could be a line for USA Hockey for a long time.
Yeah, dude, good call.
For 10 years.
Right?
Like, it's insane.
Like that's what you got to play against now for the next 10 years in every US
that's sick.
or every international event.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Suck on that.
That was a crazy one too. Of it made, we posted a funny story. I was like, it was after the game. We went out to we went to Palma first, and God, we've been to Palma a lot since we've been here.
I like Palma.
Yeah, we love Palma.
We love Palma too.
But outside there, I posted a funny story like, "Oh, Canada, you're shaking in your boots. USA scores 6 goals." Lots of shit talk, all in good fun. People being like, Finland's the worst team in this tournament, this and that, blah, blah, blah. It was wild to see, that many goals. And then we wake up the next day, or, we had a little gap day, but like, Finland is a very good team.
Yeah.
To see them beat Sweden in OT. And it was like, holy shit.
No,
this is crazy.
it felt, you said it too, off camera, but it was that score wasn't a fair representation of that game. Little leaky in the net, a couple that shouldn't go, and then it just snowballed.
Yeah, it was
whatever.
yeah, exactly.
But sick to see the boys get off on the right foot like that for us. Like that was pretty awesome.
Sick to see the boys, absolutely. Before we get into the next games, we had our gap day.
Yep.
Got some great food at so many great places. God, we've done so much.
What happened Friday day?
We
did
did Bauer.
the Bauer event.
The Bauer event, dude.
I was about to get
stick
into
soiree.
Yeah, dude. That was sick.
Huge
Let's talk
shout
about
out
that.
to our friends at Bauer. We went to the stick soiree. A lot of the boys came through. So many players came through. We got to sit down with a bunch of them. You'll hear from them in future episodes. But what an awesome event!
Really, really good.
It was just like this. Sully keeps saying it's like every day is a perfect day, and it truly has felt that way. Everything has been so fun, so amazing, so well put together, and that Bauer event was absolute nails. It was so cool, and getting the chance to talk to all those guys was just beyond fun. And then we went from there to a dinner.
Yeah, well,
Friday?
we had, that was like maybe our
Sully.
That was like our only
That was the
2-hour window of downtime.
That's right. We came back
came
here
back
and
from
sat
that,
down
and then
for
we were
Tuesday.
going to dinner to Palma.
Yeah, 'cause-
and we were going to dinner to Palma. Yeah, that was our first time at Palma.
yeah.
We love Palma. No, that was
No,
our second time,
bro, because we went there
we
with
went
the
for
Exo.
drinks.
We were there at the
After.
Exo the night before.
We went to Palma 3 days in a row. Yeah.
My facts are all over the place.
So yeah, Bauer event, unreal. Tiring though, because like you're kind of up, you're walking around,
Yeah.
you interviewed a lot of people. Come back, we all like chill for a second, and then get set up for like a proper team dinner hockey road trip. So it's
Yeah.
like us.
Shout out,
We had what?
Rafi.
Yeah,
Shout out Rafi.
massive shout out. We had 7 of us, or 8 when Brad came. We had like 8 of us.
Yeah,
and then the entire Chicklets crew.
Yeah, they were
came,
behind us.
And then
with
George
8.
Kittle came.
And then, dude, I posted this on the story. This wasn't a joke. Like, I misplaced my phone at dinner. And then I come back and there's a picture of George Kittle middle fingering me on it.
Do you know why, though? Do you know why he grabbed your phone?
No.
Because of the spoke B on it.
Really?
Yeah. He saw the B and he started fucking giving it the
He's
middle
like,
finger.
fuck the Bruins, dude.
Yeah, fuck the Bruins.
Just because he's a huge Predators fan?
Yeah, he's anyone. If it's not Sweden or if it's not the Preds, fuck
He
you.
hates him.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, you know what's funny? He took the picture and it was hilarious because I kind of came back. I kind of saw it happening. I came back and I was like, is that my phone? And it was like everyone's laughing. And then he like puts it back down and then like grabs a drink and starts to pour it. And I was like, whoa. The picture was funny, dude. Don't dunk the phone in vodka soda.
But yeah, George Kittle, boys with Philip Forsberg, came out to support him and Team Sweden. He had all the Sweden gear on, and Hammer with Violent Gentleman hooked him up with some more Sweden gear. Sully hooked him up with Sweden gear. Like, we got him dapped up. It was unbelievable. But that night went off the rails.
Dude, I got to say, too, at Palma, I don't know if you guys reacted to this, I haven't even asked you. There was a stretch where, in my mind, we had eaten dinner to completion. Like, I was like, what a great dinner.
Same, dude.
And then, dude, like 5 tomahawk steaks, 4 lobster tails. Like,
And a
dude,
sushi
a
boat.
sushi boat with dry ice pouring out of it.
Double the food that had already been there appeared. And I was like, oh, dude. Like, we were like, Wags. We were like, Wags, you got to eat everything.
Yeah, my
When
favorite
that-
dinner was Sully bullying Wags into eating more food. He was
Oh
just
yeah,
like,
Wags,
put it down, Wags.
Wags had to eat all. But the best is like when that fucking sushi boat came out, all I heard was a clap from behind me, and it was Biz going like this, just this big giant sushi boat, and I'm just like, oh my god,
Dude,
how are we
literally,
gonna do this?
I was like, I thought we ate already, dude.
Yeah,
It's
I know.
steaks, it's like ribs. I was like, Jesus Christ.
All-time meal. And then I also love places like that. We sit down, and it was a late dinner, right?
Yeah,
we
yeah.
got there like 9:30.
Yeah.
And there's a DJ playing, and at first it's that like, it's it's upbeat music. Like, this isn't a fine. I mean, it is fine dining, but it's not a fine dining, traditional restaurant where it's very quiet.
Yeah.
There's like soft jazz playing. He's playing like smooth EDM.
Yeah.
And then, we get through like a first course of the food. People have a couple drinks, and it's like pumped up a little bit, and we're like kind of like bouncing our chairs. We're like, yeah, like this place is like, we're kind of buzzing here. And then like 30 minutes later, I look up and there's like 4 chicks behind the DJ at the restaurant. And I was like, what the fuck is happening in this place?
Yeah, I found myself as the music started again. I'm like going to the bathroom, and as I'm going to the bathroom, I'm like dancing on the way. I'm like, oh, okay,
Here we
go.
Full on club by the
Dude,
end of
I
that
swear he has, there's like Tide charts they sell. So it's like, you're like, oh, Monday is February 16th, like 2:18 p.m. I swear he has a time and the beats per minute, and it's like 11:43, 117 beats per minute. And he's like, and just like, dude, he grabs it so perfectly.
Oh, he got me going.
It's a perfect
incredible,
formula.
dude. It's incredible.
We were when the night we move on, we all headed to the Loud Luxury show, but it was hilarious when we were leaving. We were like, we shouldn't leave.
Dude, you called it. You were like, we were like, we're
place
gonna
is
go
so
to Loud
fun.
Luxury like 12:30, and you go, it's gonna be hard to leave Palma, and it was.
It was
It
really
was
hard.
hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was very hard.
There's attractive people there.
Yes. All way above average.
Yeah, just it's a great looking crowd.
Just our 2 tables.
Yeah, including us. Including us.
Just our 2 tables.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. If you don't know, Montreal is very beautiful people here. Very beautiful people.
It's just a great time.
Yeah.
Everywhere's a great time. But then we headed to what was it? Some
New
City
Gas.
New City Gas.
Gas.
That is our place.
City gas.
We had to New City Gas. It was a shit show getting in there, but then turned into just one hell of a show.
Dude, shout out G for like orchestrating everything.
And the Loud Luxury boys.
Yeah,
are
honestly,
just
shout out Soul for being the guy that doesn't let the group fall apart.
true.
Like he's like, hey, he's last. Don't know that guy. This crew's with me. Just like the shepherd, I guess. Just like the shepherd.
Because we had a big crew with us
Yeah,
going
it's
there.
hard.
So we kind of
Too
got
big.
split up a little bit. Yeah. And especially in a place like that, it was bananas.
Yeah, but it was a fantastic show. What a cool venue! Like that was a proper warehouse show.
Yep.
Yeah.
But just again, man, just another unreal night on this marathon.
Dude, to jump ahead briefly, we saw a kid at the meet and greet. I don't know if you heard this. And he goes, dude, I was at the Loud Luxury show in the pit, in the GA pit. And he goes, at one point I see the Loud Luxury guys walk over to the backstage crew and hand them a bottle of 1942 tequila, and they start drinking it from the bottle. And he was like, I thought to myself, like, God, that must be like such a famous person who's doing that. And then I looked on your Instagram story and it was you guys. And I was like, yeah, you like that, dude? You were right. It was.
That was me.
You were right, dog. It was a famous person.
The
Called it, buddy.
1942.
You're spot on. It was a really cool guy.
Oh, dude, that was insane, man. Great show.
Great show. And then that night leads into the big show, Rivalry Day.
Yeah. Yep.
We wake up Saturday morning
Exhausted.
and exhausted.
Exhausted.
We're shoveling snow.
I told Wags we'll get breakfast at 10 a.m. Hey, Wags, maybe we should get a breakfast at 10 a.m. to set ourselves up for the day.
Pipe dream.
Got back at 6:30.
Dude,
Pipe dream.
Not getting breakfast at 10 a.m. Wags.
let's go even worse, dude. We're talking about breakfast? You're talking about breakfast?
Talking about breakfast, dude?
We were talking about going to the gym.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if I wake up at 9, I could be in the gym by 9:30, and we'll be like, are you
Then
joking
breakfast.
me, dude?
And we hadn't been to the gym since Wednesday.
No, Wednesday.
We're like, let's go
someone
for a
had to
gym session.
someone had to peel me out of my mattress like a pancake, and then get me to that game.
I almost missed Sweden, Finland, dude.
Yeah.
And my legs were
Sully was like, you got to go, bro.
my legs are already sore from fucking doing
Yeah,
this all
yeah.
like
Yeah,
bouncing and bouncing up and down, you know?
But there's huge emphasis. We're in Montreal. There's huge emphasis on USA Canada. I kept saying I can't wait for Sweden Finland because these two teams have just as intense of a rivalry. They hate each other as much. We've seen all those videos coming out of people being like, it's, fun and games, but it's the Sweden team walking in and someone's going, say 3 nice things about Finland.
Yeah.
And they play into it, but you can tell a lot. Like a bunch of the guys walk by, like Eriksson walked by, and he's like, no.
Yeah.
I was like,
And dude, and
nice.
that was by coincidence, that was like the losers bracket game.
Yeah.
So you needed it. It wasn't like, like if they had both won, it'd be different, but it was like you needed that game.
Yeah. I don't want to skate by this game because it was great, but again, Finland gets on the board first.
No, I think Sweden scored first. I think Mika scored first.
No,
Oh, fuck. Okay. Maybe you're right. Yeah.
I'm pretty certain Finland gets on the
Mika
board
tied
first. And then Sweden takes the lead.
Yeah. There you
Then
go.
they give up a goal, overtime again. And it was for nerve-wracking rooting for Sweden. I
Yeah.
was like, Jesus Christ, man, like finish this game. I thought they were going to win in regulation. They had like 3 minutes left. They had a great spell where I was like, come on, get one. Rivalry day starting with an OT game again was just like this fucking tournament, dude.
Yep.
This is unbelievable.
Dude, that's what's funny too. I also ran my mouth after that because before the tournament started, I said Finland would lose all 3 games in regulation to Canada, in regulation to the US, and in overtime to Sweden. I said that specifically. And as that game went to overtime, I was like, I am a savant, dude. And then it was immediate Finland goal, and I was like, never mind.
And they hate each other.
I know,
we,
dude.
We talked about that,
Yeah.
but I think that they genuinely hate each other. But it was also for the first period, I feel like it was a bit of a snoozer a little bit. And then the third period, it was like, oh, wow, this is a hockey game.
Yeah.
I
And
think they were feeling each other out a little bit.
They were feeling each other out, and then it was extremely physical too. Like
Totally.
it got really chippy.
Yeah.
Totally.
Because I got text in the beginning of the game, and it was like, oh, this is a snooze fest. Da, da, da. And then towards the end, it was like, oh, never mind.
Yep.
Never mind. This is a good hockey game.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct.
Totally. And then obviously Granny gets the OT goal, gets 2 huge points for Finland.
Dude, and just a dagger loss for Sweden. I
Dagger.
think.
Yeah,
Like
that's a tough one.
I think it's a and not to keep like clowning Finland because they're a good hockey team. Obviously, like,
Fantastic.
I feel like everybody kind of has them as the 4th though.
Yeah.
And Sweden was a 3rd, but according to them, and especially after the game 1, like a feisty 3rd. Like maybe we're not getting enough respect.
Yeah.
And then to just lose that game, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
No,
Especially-
it's tough.
Yeah.
They,
Like, 'cause if they lose to the U.S., which like maybe they won't because I don't know how hard the U.S. goes, but if they lose to the U.S., that's like a disaster. If you're Sweden and you go,
oh yeah,
0-3.
this for them, they're like that tournament went horribly.
Yeah.
Especially after the game they had against Canada. Like I thought they played a pretty good game against Canada.
Right. So did
And,
they.
like,
That's what I mean.
and to
Yeah.
follow it up with that, I think it's.
What do you think about
It's disappointing.
What do you think about Gus? Like like he gets pulled. Everything I'm reading, it wasn't an injury. Finland had 4 shots in the first period, 2 goals. Ullmark comes out for the second. Mm-hmm. I imagine they go Ullmark.
Yeah, yes. I probably would, but
and in Boston too.
Good call. Yeah, that'd be fun actually.
But who knows? Like it might be like maybe just Gus wasn't feeling it that day.
Yeah.
Because I thought he played well against Canada.
Yep.
And he made some monster saves in that OT. But it was just it was a weird. He was leaky in the beginning of that game. But those will be big questions to answer. But it was, like you said, that would be a disaster if they lose to the USA. They'll feel like it's a disaster. And it's been cool seeing how pissed the guys are.
Yeah, I agree.
Talking to some of the guys, like they're not like, oh yeah, whatever, this sucks. Like they're pissed off. And it's like, I even love, like I told you, Tom, or like talking to Alice, like she was like fucking furious. She was like this. She was like, yeah, I went out with some friends after the game, but I'm just so fucking pissed off. And I was like,
hell yeah, babe.
Yes, I love this action.
Dude,
like, come on.
Said, like, because the Eichel Chuck line's having success. So we get to sit here and go, that could be a line for 10 years, man. It's amazing. One thing I think is interesting for tournaments like this is the guys that maybe are on the Sweden bubble-ish. They're like, I'm so fucking glad I made this team. You go 0-3, the changes have to be, we can't bring that team back. Kind of that's the attitude. So it swings the other way too. Like Victor Hedman's on the team no matter what. But like the guys that are trying to get on that roster and you go 0-3 now, like that compromises your international hockey career.
And
100% it does. Yeah.
And it is what we've talked about is like this tournament is amazing and it's great, but there's a lot of elements in this tournament. And the one we've talked about is they're looking at Olympics. Like this is a great test for Olympics. And that's a huge reason why Drew Doughty is on this team. So many people are like, he played 4 games. How could you? And I'm like, because they want him in Italy. Yeah. And him playing with these guys is huge for the team. It's huge for the guys. It's huge for him. So absolutely, this is not pointless. Like this is a great test of games for these guys. It's crazy. But like you said, tough spot for Sweden. So huge game against USA. We then go to Ye Old Orchard.
Yes, dude.
We do our meet and greet right across the street from the Bell Center. Get set up. What an awesome place. Just like shout out Joe over there. Shout out that whole bar. But that place is such a proper pub. Yeah. And just a hockey bar. And could not have thought of a better place to do that meet and greet.
Dude, and
met so many cool people.
Yeah, and that was easily. We've only done a few of those, Yeah. I forget even Tampa. I think we did with Boston,
Tampa, New Jersey, Boston. Yeah, we've done a bunch.
That was the best one we've ever done. It was awesome, dude. Hands down. Just from the venue too, but just like the people that showed up and everybody wanted to hang and take pics and just talk about. They were fired up too.
Oh, they were just as fired up. It was awesome. It was fun meeting some of the guys and hearing their perspective and hearing what their predictions were. Yeah. I mean, that was cool. And it was a cool little bar too. It was
dude,
packed.
So cool.
We've been rewatching some Entourage, so this is like a deep Entourage cut. But there's an Entourage episode where they go to Comic-Con because Vince is doing Aquaman. They go to Comic-Con.
I know which episode.
Johnny Drama's
Entourage has come up a lot this week.
And Johnny Drama's like, oh, I'm the man at Comic-Con, Viking Quest. And there's a scene where these 2 guys come up to him and they're like, holy shit, Torvald, Viking Quest. And then they're about to get their picture with him, but then they see the angel, Vanessa, and they're like, oh my God, is that the angel? Like, sorry, Torvald, and like take off for her. That's what it was like for me and Dan at the meet and greet when people saw you. They're like this, oh, empty netters. And they're about to get the picture. And then they go, is that Nate Thompson? And then just gone, dude. I picture just the empty frame between me and Dan as everyone right over the top.
That's
Nate the Great, dude.
That's funny you talk about that. I'll touch on that too because like I'll say for anyone that has not played Montreal, a player like to get to experience to play for the Montreal Canadiens is second to none. And like I appreciate everyone in Montreal and all the fans because the welcoming greeting I got like coming back to this city and like people being like, hey Nate, glad you're having time here. So I just want to say thank you. But yeah, it was very like it was humbling. It was cool to like have people because I was only here for parts of 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And there's guys that have played in Montreal way longer than I have. And to get that like warm welcoming back, it was nice. So that's what I like. You know, Montreal, they are so passionate about their hockey.
Yeah.
Like they know everybody.
They know everybody.
Everybody.
It's amazing.
It's incredible. So, I mean, it was cool to experience that for
It's
sure.
amazing. Dude, even people that weren't there for the meet and greet. You know,
Yeah.
like a couple tables over, like they'd be like, I don't know who those guys are. They obviously see we're doing something, but they'd just be like looking over, and even they would be like, "Yo, Nate, that's Nate." Like I could hear them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
cool.
just again, Ye Old Orchard is just. I mean, I'm not sure there's better hockey bars in the world.
Great vibe, dude. They
It's
dapped us
everything
up.
you want,
Yep.
right? It's right across from the rink. Those guys get it. Great setup, great food.
Dude, I was
Really
gonna
good
say,
food.
I made Wags cook up. I was like, dude, order whatever you want.
Yeah, Wags, good job.
Great order.
Wags
for the
made a
team.
good
Job
order.
Great order for the team.
Good job.
Obviously, I didn't touch a single bit of it. Too distracted. I think I pencil sharpened a fried pickle spear on my way out, and that was it.
Yeah, you and I almost nuked our mouths. Like they looked so good.
Yeah.
The fried pickles came out. Nate and I both just threw one in and fucking exploded. My
So
mouth. I was
hot,
like, oh
dude.
fuck,
Yeah.
this is right out of the oven.
But yeah, no, they were amazing, top to bottom.
Yeah, just love that place, and it set the stage, man. It set the stage. We got all the predictions. So many Canadian fans, you know, giving us the Canada winning 4-3,
4-3 Canada,
4-3 a lot. But then we go to the game.
The main course, the dry ice sushi boat, if you will.
This is our sushi boat
This is our sushi
was
boat.
our
dude.
sushi boat.
Yeah,
with the tomahawk steak.
yeah.
We get into that game. We're in there for warm-ups. We're sitting there and we're looking around the Bell Center. There was not an empty, I'm not exaggerating, there was not an empty seat in that arena for warm-ups.
Dan, and to be very clear, and this is actually kind of unique at this rink, but there's a 300 section, and there's like 330, 331. There's like a few rows above that they call 430, 431. That is literally like reserved for auxiliary media. So like they're open. Even in Canada, Sweden, those were open. Every other seat sold out, but like 3 rows up there, not a soul there.
Yeah.
USA, Canada, literally every seat filled in warmups, and I was like, "Where do you want me to go?" Dude, they were like, "Sorry, dude. Like,
crazy.
We have a fan in every seat."
So something that I wanted to bring up, I tweeted this during it. One of the cooler things for me watching those warm-ups, you could see on everyone's face, no one was having fun.
Yeah.
One, you know, warm-ups often you see like people yucking it out, except when
Stone fell.
Oh yeah.
And Dewey was laughing.
Stoner
at
fell
him.
and Dewey was laughing.
Yeah.
But it was really fucking cool how clear you could see that these guys were locked in and even had jitters.
Yeah.
It's always this. I think the first person I noticed, and he'll yell at me for saying this and being like, I wasn't fucking stressed. But like I noticed Ike's skating around and he stopped the blue line and he did one of these.
Yeah.
Like a big inhale, exhale. And that is when I really started I was like, oh, they're fired up. They've got jitters in a good way.
Yep.
They're pumped for this game. Everyone in Canada was doing it too. And that just led into everything. It's like, you know, going off the ice, we get the anthem like we talked about. You can see the USA boys pissed off. And then the puck drops,
Dude, well, even like
Oh my God.
Well, we talked about the anthem obviously, but like the Matthews, like it cut to Matthews on camera, and the boo got so loud,
Or his face, and he was like,
Dude, and-
he looked angry.
bro. And I thought he was gonna kind of laugh like Willie had in that first game, and be like, okay, Christ. But dude, he was like laser focused, and that was my moment. I was like, oh shit,
He knew what he was about to do.
yeah.
So we've since heard the Kachuk brothers and JT Miller were on a group thread.
Yeah.
And they were talking to each other, being like, we're going to start the game. I turned to Sully and I was like, I go, Matthew Kachuk is fighting right off the drop. And I had my phone out ready for it because I was like, I'm telling you, they're going to go. Unbelievable tilt, him and Hagel.
Yeah.
And like Hagel fighting.
Kudos to Hagel too, man.
Yeah.
Both of them were chucking him.
Yes.
One thing that pisses me off, like, we posted that. I saw some comment that was like classic Kachuk brothers going after guys smaller than them. And I'm like, first of all, Matthew's not that big. Like everyone always like acts like Matthew's huge. He's not that big at all. And he's also a 100-point guy. Like, that's what always pisses me off. People are like, yeah, he's such a rat. I'm like, yeah, he's also one of the best players in the league. Nasty. Fight whoever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
So them going. And my favorite, I'm curious what you guys, my favorite part of that fight was the way Brady looked like a rabid dog. Like the refs were having to push him away. Yeah. Like Brady got in and like immediately was like clearing their sticks and gloves out to give them all the space they needed. But he kept like stepping in, screaming at Matthew. Like God knows what he was saying, but he was like, kill him. Kill him. But he was just like hyping it up.
He was a corner man for that fight. He was legit a corner man. Like, I was watching
they were
it.
out of their minds. Like truly, the refs had to like keep grabbing Brady and like pulling him away from the fight. But great tilt. The two of them just like, that's as close to a 50-50 fight as you can get. Like, I mean, I think Matthew maybe got some more chucks in, but.
And then after both of them, Hagel, he was like, went to the crowd.
Yeah.
Matthew went to the bench. Like, it was like.
Both of them.
So much emotion.
Hyping up everybody. Then face off. Dot right in front of us.
Did you guys see what, before that though, before the face off, did you guys watch Brady?
Yeah.
No.
So he looks at Cooper, looks at Bennett, and kind of waves him on the ice. Like, come on, let's go.
Oh, sick.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Like, he was like, looked at Cooper, like, put him on the fucking ice, and like, kind of waves him. And then you see Bennett, like, one leg over and comes on.
But once I saw them, the face-off dot. I was like,
gonna say, you then see the face-off dot is Bennett Brady, because like Brady taking a face-off, and you're like, okay, here we go. They go. Brady, I mean, again, great fight, but Brady takes him down. Then you get the fucking Bash Brothers in the box.
Dude, and Brady, talk about the reaction. Like, Brady kind of did like a loop to the crowd. Like, stare down.
Again,
like, the whole
frothing
crowd.
at the mouth.
Yeah.
Just such a beast.
And Matthew on the glass, banging
hammering
like this, and then greets him at the glass with the tap. You know what I mean? It was.
Yeah.
Yes. Unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable. So good.
Dude, when Brady got in the box.
It was also such a cool brother moment. Like, Matthew was like,
such a brother
he just
moment.
looks at him, he's like, how did mine look? And he was like, unbelievable, dude. Like, that was so
insane. Like, and dude, Brady got in the box. I haven't found a video of this yet, but when he gets in, because he's like fired up, Matthew daps him up, and he like, there's a panel of glass to your side. Like, the side is like the ref, the scorecard. This is like the fans. Brady like hit the glass, not like trying to hurt anybody, just like hit the glass, but it has a lot of give. Like, that glass like went so deep into the crowd. I was like, oh my God, dude, Brady's gonna lose his mind today.
Obviously, JT then fights Parayko. Amazing. You could see JT just wanted to fight anybody. He was like, I'll go with it.
Well, he was asking before the face-off, and then when they had the scrum, it was like, all right, let's go.
He did immediately.
But we've said a bunch of times, the Kachuk brothers, very dramatic in a good way. Like, they always say the right things. And I'm going to get dramatic here. Before we left for Four Nations, we posted a carousel of iconic international moments. The Kachuk brothers fighting to start the first USA Canada best on best game in 9 years, to me, is now up there in one of the greatest international hockey moments of all time.
Dude,
seeing the two of them toss and then go in the box together and legitimately look like Dean Portman and Fulton Reed pumping up the crowd, that is one of the most iconic moments in USA hockey history, hands down.
My take, and I thought about this, my take on this is the best start to any hockey game I've ever seen. Because, that there's a fighting, but the reason why I think is because, like, maybe besides Brady, none of these guys fight.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They don't fight.
Yeah,
but they wanted to fight because they know and they care that much about this game and their country that they're putting themselves out there. Like, fuck it, I am going to throw down for my country. I'm going to do this. I'm setting the tone. But this game, it's on the players. Like,
absolutely,
they make it as big as they want it to.
Yeah, dude.
And
really,
and kudos to the players is that they made this game bigger than it was, like, huge, right? Because they did that. Like, they set the tone for this game, and kudos to them because it's all them on that one. Like, that was the best I've ever seen.
100%.
To start the hockey game.
Great point.
It's the best hockey game I've ever been to.
And I'm with you, Dan. I think we're obviously biased in a bit because we are from the U.S., but I don't see how any fan of any country can't recognize. You're like, that was awesome.
Like, we were standing up for how long,
dude? I didn't think we would sit all game.
Yeah.
There was a stretch there. You know how like college basketball games, like those nuts students just stand for the whole time. There was a stretch there. I was like, I don't think we're going to stand.
I was like, we're just going to stand the whole game.
So
like,
crazy, dude.
Yeah.
God damn.
I mean, gosh, that was just heart rate jacked truly
Dude,
the whole.
said,
I mean, that was
you're
unbelievable.
right, Dan. Like you said, I was sweating.
I was
like,
dumping
dude,
sweat.
God, because sometimes I like to walk, like I just like to be around the rink, and like I pop into the I don't know what those are called, but like the little tunnels from the concourse, the seats,
that's right.
And it's like there was a an usher woman there, and it was after the JT fight, 9 seconds into the game, and I was just standing right next to her, because I was actually like on the goal line there, kind of like opposite where you were, and I go,
Aaron in. Sorry,
I was like, how long have you been working here? To her, this crowd guy, how long have you been working here at the Bell Center? And she goes, 16 years. And I go, have you ever heard it this loud in your entire life? And she goes, not even close. 16 years at the Bell Center, dude.
You know what I think?
9 seconds in.
And I've been in there, obviously. I've been at the side of the Bell Center, and that was insanely loud.
Yeah.
Not even close.
I think one of my favorite moments about that was, and this goes into why I love Canada so much and Canadian people so much, the intensity of that moment, what it meant to everybody. And we're just looking around in the stands at Canadians with the biggest smiles on our faces, like hugging people, being like, how cool is this that we get to experience? There was no animosity. There was no like, fuck you. Like, Hagel won that fight. Kachuk won that. It was just a bunch of hockey fans enjoying the moment.
Yeah, there's like a 9-year-old boy in front of us. Remember?
Yeah.
And he was like,
this is so cool.
He's like, I can't believe I just witnessed this. I was just like, me too, buddy. Me too.
Let's go. Oh, God. All right, well, to make this moment better, we just had someone who's less pumped about that result join. Erin, do you want to come sit down and talk about USA Canada with us?
Pause in the pod real quick to talk to you guys about our good friends, our old good friends at Labatt Blue. So we love Labatt Blue Light. We love Labatt Blue. We're here in Canada right now, so it's everywhere and it's awesome. And even in the USA stops, we're finding Labatt Blue more and more. It's one of my favorite beers of all time. And you need to go check it out right now. And you know why? Because there's a little bit of Canadian kindness in every single sip. God, we've been here watching these games at Four Nations. Some of the best hockey I have ever seen. Some of the best hockey you have ever seen. Best on best for the first time in a decade. Connor McDavid's going crazy. Team USA beat Canada. The Bell Center, the roof was about to blow off the Bell Center. It was unbelievable. And every time I would leave a game and go to the bar and everybody's there hashing out what they just saw and talking about it, almost every table I saw, Labatt Blue, Labatt Blue, Labatt Blue. I had a Labatt Blue 50 the other day. I'd never even heard of it. Saw it on the menu, had to try it. So Labatt Blue is flowing while we're watching hockey. It's flowing when we're hanging out at the house. It's flowing when we get back to California and I'm sitting in the sunshine. I don't care that it's a blizzard in Montreal right now. Both weathers ready for Labatt Blue. So go check out Labatt Blue or Labatt Blue Light. Find out which one's your favorite and get in on this action with us.
Okay, Erin Ambrose joining us again.
Yes.
Nice recurring guest. I wish it was better circumstances for you.
No, you don't.
Well,
Yeah, you're lying.
Yeah, you're lying. That's a
You're
lie.
completely lying.
I said for her.
But no, you don't, because that would be bad circumstances for us.
And then you guys are sitting here
I
all
care
mad.
about Erin, and I wish that she were happier. But the good news is we probably have a championship game coming our way.
We hope.
We better.
Yeah.
I know. We all need it. We all need it.
I think
You saw an interview. Dylan Larkin said that actually. He's like, I hope we play him again.
Yeah.
He said it.
God,
So
I love Dylan so much. It's unbelievable.
Erin, we were just talking about the fights. What's your take? How'd you enjoy that?
I loved it. I couldn't believe it happened. Like the first one, I was like, damn, this is going to be a sick game. Then the second one, and I was with my teammate, and Taven and I are like, this can't be happening right now.
Yeah.
And then the little scrum, and you just saw Miller toss his gloves, and I was like, who's going with him right now? Because nobody, like, you kind of saw on the replay, like, Parayko was like, I guess it's me.
Yeah.
I guess I'll go.
It was funny. You called me out last night, and you're right. I was like, it's bullshit that they gave USA a penalty, but JT did just drop his gloves, and he's like, God, who's going to go? And I was like, all right, you got to give him a penalty.
I didn't like that call. I didn't like the. I mean, because
What? But
he kind of waited, and Parayko waited. I mean, I didn't like that.
But what did they call though?
Instigating, no?
They did
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
instigating.
Yeah.
I thought they called the cross check.
I think it was genuinely just a tough situation. Like I didn't like that it happened, but the way, like, if you watch the replay, Parayko is kind of looking at him just with his gloves on. He's like, you want me?
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, fine, here we go.
They were just trying. I think they were just trying to get that game under control. They didn't want it to get out of control. They're like, okay, this is the last fight.
I was actually about to say, it's funny how that was so perfect. Like 3 fights, we were like, oh my god, if there was one more fight, I feel like even us in the stands would be like, all right, guys, like let's play some hockey.
Yeah, let's go.
So it was just the perfect amount. It was fantastic. I loved it. How do you feel the game? Like, what surprised you about the game?
Well, actually, before you even answer that, I was curious. Do you think
This guy's just fucking cucking my question?
It's a build up to your question. Do you think that got in Canada's head at all? Like, was it like, oh Christ, the U.S. team's here to fucking fight and get so physical? Like, Canada probably doesn't want to play that game. Do you think that mattered to them at all? Were they like, whatever, that was just fun at the beginning, and now let's play?
I don't know. Like for me, I think this is the one part of the game that I just can't quite relate to.
Yeah,
like
fair.
as a fan, I sit there and I'm like, okay, I'm engaged, but like I don't know how much it galvanizes a group. Like there's maybe been like 1 or 2 scrums that have been more than obviously we don't square up, but like I've never been on the bench when it's like somebody's going toe to toe with somebody. Like I do think it would be sick. But I do think like I saw something like this was the first time that US has ever really been like the bullies.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's always been like Team Canada style, like we're going to run you through the ground, and like that you saw that change a little bit last night. Also like some people were pointing out like Tom Wilson would be a great player to have right now.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Good call.
But it's like
I agree with you.
It's and he was right on the brink of I think he was right on the brink. Also though, like would have been nice to have Konechny in the lineup last night. I know he's a small guy, but like a little bit more of a shit disturber.
Yeah.
I want him. I hate Brad Marchand when he plays for freaking Boston, but like would have loved that piece of shit to come out last night. That side of him, and he was quiet. Like I saw Matthew Tkachuk like literally just cross check like at the end of a period or whatever, and I'm like, that's such a little shithead.
Yeah.
Like Brad, where are you?
Yeah.
Lick somebody.
Yeah.
Please.
Truly.
Yeah.
Like choke somebody.
Lick someone on the face. Like,
Anything.
You're absolutely right.
Good.
And yeah, I mean, good Lord, imagine if Willie were out there on the ice during those fights. Like because he would have been like, I'll go.
Yep.
And that is a guy. I mean, maybe other than Brady, but like I think about Matthew and JT being like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I fought him once. It's like wrestling a bear.
Really?
Oh,
It's like
he's
holding
a
on to a bear.
unit.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
He's been a unit like forever. I played against him growing up, and like I remember he was North Toronto Stars or whatever they were, and he was a unit back then.
Oh, I believe
like
it.
would just destroy people and just take over games by himself physically.
Like he had a beard at 12 for sure.
100%.
You're just like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, after all the fights, we talked about the game settled down a little bit.
Yeah.
There was even stretches where it was just like, it was kind of these spoon flip ins back and forth, just going down and down. And I feel like both teams were figuring each other out. But what surprised you about the game, if anything?
I just loved how like physical it was. Like everybody talks about going into this event, what's it going to be like? Is it going to, and like whenever Canada and US meet, like there's no doubt it's going to be epic. And I think like last night, everybody talked about it. Like it's been 10, 16 years in the making, like whatever it is. None of these guys have played this before.
Yeah.
Right. And I just think, I don't know. It was so exciting to watch on that side of things. Like I feel like I sat there, I think a couple times, you guys like, is this what it's like when like we play the US? Like I'm really curious because it's like, it was so fucking intense.
So intense.
Crazy. It was hard to even
Oh my
have
God.
convos with your seatmates, right? Because you can kind of be talking, and then immediately something would be like
We'd stop. We would shut up.
Yeah.
I was
Okay,
I was probably an asshole because I know Wags was trying to talk to me a couple times. And I didn't. I was like basically. I was basically ignoring you, Wags. Sorry, but like last night you were trying to talk to me. I'm like, Wags, shut the fuck up.
But
I
it's
wanna
just
watch- I
doing
wanna
this.
watch
Like Aaron
game.
and I were talking like this. Like I'm like, yeah. So anyway, we're like, I would never look at.
Oh,
it, 'cause
yeah,
I was
no,
like,
no,
we're
no,
not
yeah,
taking
yeah,
our eyes
no,
off
no,
the game. Like
no.
it was too good. How good do you? I mean, you're an Olympian.
Mm-hmm. A gold medal.
Gold medal.
actually. Not a
Show the
big deal.
tattoo.
You want?
Whip it out.
I always feel like I'm like Harry Potter, like in
Yeah,
the
you're just a
Wizarding
dark
world.
mark. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you showing. Look at that.
Dude, Aaron, tangent,
That's
but
sick.
we're like getting beers in between periods, whatever. And it's like people walk up to us. It's like dudes, like they're like, yo, dude, it's the Empty Netters boys. And we're like, hey, bro, what's up? Great to meet you. And I love it, right? I'm like, great to meet you. Thanks for saying what's up. And they always look at her and they're like, excuse me, you could take a picture of us? And I'm like, dude, like,
Yeah, like you have no idea.
yeah, you have no idea, pal.
Remember that one asshole
Yeah, literally, I was having a conversation, turned around, and he just goes,
with his phone. He just like hit her and was like, "Yeah, you take it. You take it." He didn't even ask.
That's when you take a selfie of yourself.
Well,
and you hand it back to him. You hand it back to him.
I said the next one this happens, I literally might just take their phone like this.
She goes, just go show the rings tat, dude.
But take a picture.
Yeah, I'll hold your phone. You want to hold my gold medal? Or,
there
just
you go.
do a quick trade. Thanks a lot.
Gold medal winning Olympian. How awesome do you think this is for the? I mean, like, you're in the middle of your season. For those who don't know, you played and won on Saturday.
Yeah, there was a ton of all her best friends went to the game to watch her play.
And,
all of them.
You're locked into that, like, your mid-season form. But the fact that you came to the game, I thought was so cool. So, like, I feel like you guys can see how cool this is for the game.
Yeah, like, we were pumped. A big group of people got tickets, like, literally the day before we were able to get some. But everybody else was so excited to get tickets. And I know when I got them, like, I texted Dave and was like, we're going. And she was like, shut up. Because I was just like, I wanted somebody who would enjoy the game, have a good time. And, like, we play on Tuesday, but it was like, this is something you don't get to experience. Like, the fact I say this as a Leafs fan, like, there is no better place, no better rink, I think, than the Bell Center. Like, the fans are like, and even playing there for me, like, the fans are literally on top of you. It's the coolest
so true.
rink, and the fans are nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely psychotic in the best way possible.
I love that you said that.
Yeah. It's
She just cemented how I feel when playing for the Canadians. It was the same. I had the same sentiment. So.
And how important do you think this is? Because, like, we always talk about the stuff that we do. And all these people in this world do. It's all about growing the game. And when we say growing the game, I don't mean the NHL game. We mean hockey, and that includes the PW, it includes women's hockey, men's hockey. Because I feel like I was feeling this way. How important do you think this attention on men's best on best?
Thank you for adding that in.
Yeah. This attention on men's best on best, I think, is huge for the women's best on best too. Because, like, now heading to the Olympics, it's just going to be more eyeballs on. It's like, oh, we get now both of these. It's going to be great for everyone.
Yeah, it's what the game needs. And I think we always talk about it on our side of things. Like, everybody is like, hey, appreciate what you're doing to grow the game. And it's like, thanks, me too, but I'm also playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, we're also competing and playing. And it's like, you don't go up to Jack Eichel and be like, hey, way to grow the game yesterday. Like, you went out there and you're really growing it. And in Vegas, like, it's like, no, like, we're also athletes. Like, we want to win. We're not just doing this. Yes, we want to create something for people down the road. And we've done that now with the PWHL, but it's like, I'm also here to win a championship.
Yes.
And I'm here to compete for a Walter Cup. I'm here to compete for a spot at the Olympics, World Championships, whatever it is. Like, I'm growing the game, but at the same time, like, I'm also doing a damn good job playing it. And that's how we all feel. Like, we want to do what we can to grow this game, and we're going to continue to. But at the same time, like, we're also in it. Like, we're the athletes right now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I just get so fired up at the idea of, you have a tournament like this, gets the competitive juices flowing. And I love the idea of you all being at the Olympics and being able to look like the PW players and the NHL players being able to feed off each other and be like, you want to win a gold, they want to win a gold. You help each other be competitive, fire each other up. Like, it makes it so much better. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Like, I'm not going to lie. I met some nice guys that were on, like, the men's team in Beijing, but it's like, you had to do a little bit more research on them and everything, like, respectfully.
Yeah. Absolutely, it's fair.
And that's how it was for everybody back home. Like, it was like, okay, who's coming, kind of thing. But I think, like, obviously there's so many reasons to want to make that Olympics and be there in Italy, but to be able to go and compete alongside the guys that are in the NHL, like, yeah, those are guys that I've watched for years, and it's like, we want the best of the best to be there. Everybody's wanted it for so many years, and you think, like, back to Sochi, it's like, it's been a decade now. Yeah. And it's just like, it's time that it turns around and they're there in Italy, and it's exciting to think about.
Yeah, it is. Going back into the game, we were talking about, you guys were mentioning the Sweden goalies and all that. If this goes to, well, first of all, actually, Canada, Finland, who are you starting in net?
I'm going Aiden Hill.
Yeah, what do you got? I feel like I am too.
I would have started him this whole tournament with respect to Binner.
Yeah.
So, like, this is an easy one for me. At the end of the day, he could give up 2 goals, so it's not like he got lit up.
Yeah,
but,
like you lose a game 2-1.
Yeah, it's like,
you're not sitting there saying.
I was gonna say, I thought he played really well. Like, he has played really well.
Yeah.
What's funny is, like, I thought he. We don't need to say that. Binner's a fantastic goalie. We all know that. I thought he played all right against Sweden. But what's funny is
he's making the big saves.
Huge saves.
That's
Yeah.
that's why I thought he played
right
well.
about to bring up
Yeah.
OT. He made fucking psychotic saves in OT. And then, in this one, he only gives up 2. And, you say what you will about the Larkin shot, but like,
Or even
I thought both were
The Gensel,
Gensel.
yeah.
I think Gensel's was cheeky as fuck, man.
Yeah, you
that was
like
such
that
a
guy.
Jake Gensel goal. Like,
Well, John Cooper said that.
yeah,
Coop said he was like he does this all the time.
Yes.
It's just like
yeah,
it's
that's
like a
his shot.
misdirect. Well, like the shoulder fake to a slow. It's almost like the Kucherov shootout.
Yeah.
It's like no one is expecting him to slide 5-hole there. It's
Yeah.
such a cheeky goal.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to kill Binner for that one. So yeah, it's
my
tough.
thing though is like, do you look ahead? So you got to win tomorrow.
Yeah.
What do you do though? Like if I don't know, does Binner give you the best chance to win? Like we talked about it last night. Like he somehow gets it done. He's a Stanley Cup winner.
Yeah,
Like,
he really
and
does.
We all know like he's not the best statistically, whatever it is, but he's got this like fuck you attitude.
Totally.
to him.
He
and I don't
totally
know,
does.
like that's fun to play in front of.
Yeah.
Like as a D, like if you got a guy who's like, I don't know how, but I'm gonna beat the guy at the other end. I don't know. So now I'm kind of backtracking.
Yeah, now you want Binner, dude. Yeah.
Seriously. But it is true. Like you're so right that the feeling as a defenseman of knowing you got a guy who doesn't get rattled, that's huge. And his fuck you attitude,
Yeah.
I feel like doesn't get rattled. He has
Yeah,
that. What was
agreed.
that great quote? He was like, "Do I look nervous?"
Yeah, yeah.
And I think he is that way. Like he's
No, he is. He thrives in those moments. Like
Yeah.
the bigger the moment, the better he's going to play, or the bigger save he's going to make, which he did the last couple of games.
It's been interesting. We were joking with Laz last night. And he was saying like John Cooper, the biggest decision of his career. It was deciding who to play in that game, and there's obviously some humor to it, but there's also some validity
Yeah.
to it because and now it's almost even worse because if you start Hill, and let's say Hill gets lit up like a Christmas tree, everyone guns Coop for that, not
Yeah.
Hill.
Yep.
You know,
and you're playing against a confident
Yeah.
Finnish team now.
Yep.
right?
Good call.
They
Definitely.
Pesky
beat Sweden, and
Finns.
they beat Sweden, and they have that. I mean, we didn't talk about that one line, but their top line is
it's absurd.
it's crazy. You have 2 guys that are huge,
Yeah.
and Barkov and Rantanen, and then
Yep.
you add Lehkonen. But like, I don't know, but like, it's not going to be a walk in the park.
Yeah,
Because
and
keep in mind,
Canada, I
they
don't
own
think.
the Sweden tiebreaker too. You know,
Yeah.
we keep being like, oh, if Canada wins, they're in. But I'm like, if Finland wins, they're in. Because even if Sweden beats US, Finland owns
Yeah.
the tiebreaker and it's their throw.
And it's interesting too. I think a huge strength of the Canada team is that speed down the middle. Obviously, with Nate, Connor being the ones that jump out. And I think a huge part of USA's game plan was clogging the middle. If you watch a lot of the people talk about Jack Hughes' game, sure, Jack wasn't that crazy offensive, but he did make a lot of really good back checking plays, isolating that second pass in the neutral zone. Austin was doing that all night. We talk about all the time who is better down the middle in this tournament than Finland, especially when you think about defensive capable centers. Like you've got Barkov and Lundell on the same team, and then you add Rupe Hintz to that as well, and you add Sebastian Aho to that as well. It's like they're going to do a good job down the middle against this team. It'll be interesting.
I have a question, Aaron. So, like, I think John Cooper shortened the bench last night. He didn't really play. He didn't really play 4 lines, and against Finland, I mean, I think you have. I think he has to play more of his depth. I mean, do you agree with that? Like,
Yeah,
Do you
like-
think he shortened up the bench too much?
I think too quickly almost. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I wasn't paying too much attention, but like it just seemed like he started to switch some things up and then kind of started spotting guys, and I'm like, I think at that point it's a tight game, but I also think you just got to roll, like trust the guys. Like you look at the group, it's not like a typical NHL team. Like you don't need to be nervous putting your 4th line out against the first line most of the time because they would be in first line matchups on their own teams, right? So they're kind of used to that. But I think if anything, and I would never ever go against what John Cooper does because we on our side think he's the biggest beauty in the world and we love him to death. But I just think maybe at that point just put a couple things in the blender instead of just shortening the bench.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I think we got to give Thomas Harley a little bit of a shout out. Statistically, apparently
good
he was
call.
off the chart.
Great call.
Great point. Yeah.
Like, so I think on the back end, it's different shortening the bench on the back end. Like, if you go down, you're going down and it's
Yeah.
a little bit tougher. But for him to come in, literally barely touch the ice.
He was on a plane 2 days ago. Like, it's absurd.
He was really good last night.
Yeah.
He did
really,
everything
really good last
everything right.
and more.
He was just you're right. You're
like
right.
apparently, I think I saw something like out chance 10-1 when he was on the ice, like for Canada, which is like
fuck.
yes, like
That's
wow,
awesome. Yeah.
that's damn good for a D.
Yeah.
It is. And you mentioned it earlier, the fact that when you shorten that bench and you're limiting Brad Marchand, Sam Bennett, and Seth Jarvis's ice time, it's like that's a line you want out there against anybody.
to bang.
That's who I wanted to see.
Like you
that's,
know,
that's kind of what I was getting at. I wanted to see more of that line. You wanted to see like it's Bennett. I mean, he had how many big hits and how many
Even
short
Jarvie.
shifts that he
Jarvie was
had.
like just throwing his body around. He wasn't always standing
Yeah.
on his feet, but it was just
I really
like it
wish
got
he-
everybody into
yeah,
it.
just play more of his fourth line, third, fourth
you know,
line.
we gassed him up when he came through. The assist he had in the Sweden game,
Yeah.
like that was all Jarvie's hard work that made that happen. You're telling me you don't want that on the ice a little bit more?
Yeah.
You want Brad getting under people's skin in that
They
type
needed
of a
that,
game?
and I think that's where, like, I get that. It's not even like they were down big or anything, so you got to get the more skilled guys more chances. Like it was like that was such a tight checking game. It's like let them run and gun, let them throw the body around, like let them just freaking go out and be Bash Brothers. Like get the crowd into it, get the energy.
The numbers might call me a liar, but it felt to me that the U.S. rolled four lines way more in this game than the Finland game. Like I remember barely seeing Dylan Larkin in the Finland game, and then here he was all over the ice.
Yeah.
You know, so it's interesting to me that in this one, the U.S. was like, "Go ahead,
Yeah.
you know, everybody can play," and then Canada went to the Tubs.
The people being in different numbers though, it was messing with me so
well,
bad. I'm literally like, who the
real.
hell's 21? And I'm like, oh my god, it's Larkin. Like what?
Yeah.
Like it throws me off so bad. I need like. We always have them our games, just a sheet with all the numbers,
Yeah. So
whole roster printed off for me.
Devon Taves has been fucking me up with that. Seeing him wearing five. I'm like, who the fuck is 5 on this team? And it's
Honestly, I'm like Ekblad. No, it's a lefty. Like I'm like, no, that's not him. Like, he's a righty. That's not right.
so glad you said that because that's been messing with me, and I'm glad I'm not the only one. But shout out to Brock Nelson too. I thought he played way more last night, and he was similar to Thomas Harley. He was just doing the dirty work. Like he was making all the right plays. He must have had 4 separate plays where the U.S. was hemmed in badly, and it was like you're starting to kind of sit up a little bit, like is Canada about to creep in? And he made some unreal plays on the half wall, getting the puck out.
It was annoying.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I bet.
Yeah.
But he was great.
Jacob Slavin, man.
Bro.
Last night.
I love watching that guy play hockey.
He was unbelievable. He might, I mean, obviously all the other things, but like defensively last night, he was
Talk about small market
shutting
teams.
down guys.
If you are a casual to slightly above casual NHL fan, he is the guy that people always go when they name in Team USA roster. People are like, oh, Slavin, and I'm like, buddy,
Yeah.
he is.
And like,
Oh my god,
is allowing Brock Faber to play more of his game.
Yeah.
Like he
such
has
a good point.
I like Faber. He's a young guy, but like I think switching that up and putting Slavin with Faber has been like, okay, now let him do his thing. Let him have a little bit more confidence. Like playing with a guy like Slavin, like anytime you have that kind of just steady rock beside you, you're like, okay, I can do this. I can cheat a little bit more. He's got my back kind of thing. So I can't say enough good things about Jacob Slavin.
He's so good. My last tire pump is going to be, game starts, Canada gets on the board first. Disgusting.
We'll talk about that in a second. Do your tire pump, yeah. Or unless it was that.
No, it's not that. You want to interrupt me more in this episode? What have I done wrong?
I didn't want
We
you to
spent a
just-
lot of time
I didn't
together
want
all
you to
weekend.
breeze over the McDavid goal.
All right, talk about the McDavid goal.
Okay, yeah, that was the coolest moment of the entire week for me. Like I literally
Not the 3 fights.
No, that was
Wow.
fucking insane. The Bell Center, like it was so perfect. Incredible pass from Dewey.
Yeah.
And just like I
Such
felt
a
like
good
everybody
pass
could
from
see
Dewey.
it coming. I was like, oh, here's Connor, full head of steam, exactly the thing we wanted to avoid. Takes McAvoy, didn't play it perfectly anyway, but just like goes wide, bang, under the bar. His celly we talked about, like that looked like him game 7 celly.
Yeah,
like
it
he
was.
was like, and that was. The building exploded like that. I truly, no joke, I cheered just for. I was like, oh, because it was just such.
I cheered because of the Dewey pass.
Yeah, like it was
I was
just
like,
such an
"Sick pass."
iconic thing, dude.
Yeah.
That I couldn't believe that moment. I was so happy. That another one to be like, I'm so glad I witnessed that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
God damn, amazing.
It's cool to see Connor score for sure, especially in Canada. That was awesome.
My poor teammate left about 13 seconds before that to go to the
Oh,
bathroom.
my God. Oh,
She's like, when should I go? I was like, go now. Oops, sorry, Tabes.
Sorry.
Goal. The tire pump I was going to say, and you mentioned it, it's Connor McDavid barreling down the ice, but like McAvoy was like, do I go to him now? He was trying to see if there was a pass option, and then Connor just does what Connor does. After that play,
Do you think that lit a fire?
100%. 100%. Charlie McAvoy fucking dummied Connor McDavid for the next 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was insane. He put Connor on his ass at least 5 times for the rest of that game.
And he's sitting there like being like, this guy just embarrassed me. Yeah. Well, screw that. I'm going to light you up the rest of the game. And it literally I think it changed the momentum for US because we had all of the momentum and then McAvoy was like, fuck it, this isn't happening again.
That's so spot on. I think that was the most big boy moment of Charlie McAvoy's career.
You should talk about what the text you got. We were talking about during the game.
That's right.
Yeah, and then that happened.
I'm not going to sewer who it was.
No, no.
But I got a text after the goal. I got a text from someone very close to me who said Charlie McAvoy is a B-level defenseman, and I was like, that's tough. That's a tough critique. And then after that, Charlie does what he does. And I got a text from the same person that was like, well, he just shut me the fuck up. And I was like, yeah. But truly, to the first hit, obviously, just a huge, perfect lineup, skating, hip check, leveled him, both feet off the ice for McDavid, I mean. But he was actively seeking Connor out after that.
And Sid.
Yeah.
True. Like, he was being like, where is Connor? I'm going to fucking bury him. Do you know
and
how
that's
cocky
where
that is? Like,
I wish Brad or Jarvie or Bennett, like, I know we just had 3 fights, but like, you talk about it all the time in NHL regular season games. You touch our best player, like, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Okay, so why is it any different? We just had 3 fights, so we're clearly going to fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like we're not fighting in this game. Somebody just something.
Yeah.
Like, nobody
It's
even
true.
touched McAvoy.
Good call, actually.
I mean, that's kind of why I was like, my prediction before the game, we were talking about it, was for the first time, I mean, ever saying that, is Canada couldn't match US's physicality.
Mm-hmm.
And it was going to wear them down eventually. And it was going to wear down Canada's D and everyone else. And I think that's what happened last night.
And we talked about it, that first McAvoy hit more or less led to the Larkin goal. Like, it was a huge
the
Gensel
Gensel
goal. Like, it was a huge momentum switch of like, that hit happened. It was the loudest the USA fans were in the game.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Like, it was like, people were like, oh my God.
Yeah, dude. Credit to the fans too, though. I couldn't believe how quiet it was when Gensel scored. Like, I thought there would be like a bit of a roar, and it was like,
no,
I was like, oh damn,
never.
that was crazy.
So truly.
Yeah.
Same with Larkin's goal. Like, I stood up. You were like, shit the fuck down.
Yeah.
I actually did tell you to sit down.
Yeah.
But forgot about that.
It was quiet. It was quiet in there. But again, obviously, Lark scores, then we get the empty net goal. USA wins 3-1. JT missing another empty net.
Dude, I felt so bad that who's the guy sitting in front of us had his kids there.
Yeah.
His daughter, I presume, had the JT Miller jersey on.
Yeah.
And JT gets that brush, and she stood up. So I was tapping her on the back because I was trying to be like, your boy's about to score. But then she thought I was like, I can't see. So like, she sat down, and I was like, oh no, get up. He's about to score. And then he missed, and I was like, actually, sit down. He missed it.
This has gone horrible.
Yeah.
This has gone horrible.
I was like, damn it, my bad.
I was just going to say, like, the way that I think the rivalry, like we were talking about earlier, I think it was 8 to 10 years old, the one kid in front of us, and USA scored, and he literally goes, I fucking love USA. And all of my teammate Tabes and I are like, you can't
say that.
The dad was like, whoa. He goes, I have to. We just scored. And I was like, fair point, buddy. Fair point. He goes, I hear it all the time. And then we kept saying sorry for swearing.
I can't argue that.
I dropped 50 fucks right behind him after that. So I was like,
It was the first one I did. I apologize. He was like, I said it already. Don't worry.
Yeah, he did say that.
All right,
He
cool.
gave us permission.
Yeah. Where it's like, we're off the rails.
The other thing too, though, is I think like what we need to like embrace with the 4 Nations is like, as great as the games are going to be at the Olympics next year, it's not going to be 3 fights because it's double IHF games.
Yeah. Also good call.
It's not going to be like this. Like, we're never going to see that again.
Yeah, it's so great.
And
So true.
it was 10 years of build up, like, and then it'll be competitive. It'll be epic at the Olympics, but like, we all know how double IHF reffing is. Like, obviously the fighting and everything, it's gonna be definitely a very different vibe at the Olympics.
It's a great
No doubt.
point.
And it's also just, with a quick round robin like this, it almost always happens. But it's, as we keep saying, this has been such a good tournament. Everything has gone so well. And the fact that we're headed to Boston, we've got these next games on Monday, and every game is must win for every team other than USA. It's like, that is so electric that all these teams, it's not like it's meaningless, whatever. They're like, nope, have to win. That, it's just every game, the stakes have been so unbelievable.
Dude,
Now we're on home soil.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, but
Now we're going to home soil.
do you guys know, like, 2010, so 15 years ago, what happened?
Yeah.
In the round robin?
Yeah, I do.
And
remember that.
everybody was just on cloud nine.
We remember.
We actually said we were hoping, God, we were afraid of this. Like, I was like, I don't care if we lose.
I hate it
on Saturday because we'll win in the final.
There's a different feel though. After
I'll give you that.
last
I'll give you
game
that.
Yep.
Than there was in 2010.
And I will say this: this tournament, just I can't say enough good things about it. Being able to walk out of that stadium and there was no.
Do you always call it a stadium? It's a rink, by the way, or an arena.
I keep saying arena. That's the first time I've said stadium.
Yeah.
Walking out of that arena, thank you. That's a good check. It's not no disrespect. It's not an Eagles game. It's not an NFL game where people
You're
are
100%
motherfucking each other. It's just such good vibes. So like the USA fans and Canadian fans, everyone was being very nice to each other.
Except that one dude
just
outside
enjoying the moment. And I am going to challenge the US now. I'm going to challenge the city of Boston now of like, this was picture perfect from this city, that arena, and these people of just unbelievable times, unbelievable vibes, and such good energy. And if you want a shot at winning USA, and if you want a shot Boston and all the fans at matching how awesome this was, you got to bring it the same way. It's got to be the same energy. It's got to be the same, like, make sure Team USA feels like they're in their home living room in this game. Like, make them feel exactly what the Canadians here did, because that was the coolest thing.
I'm worried about that, actually. I don't know. I don't think that, or I put it this way, I don't think it's going to be as 95-5.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No.
Canadians are going to travel.
Canadians are coming to Boston.
Canadians are going to travel.
I'm American. I was actually, you guys know, I was drafted by Boston.
Yep.
But there's no place like Montreal, the Bell Center.
No.
I don't think you
Nothing.
can match it.
Nothing.
Right?
Nothing.
I mean, it'll be, I'm sure it's going to be electric. The Garden's going to be really loud, but it won't be Bell Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be electric though.
It just can't be too, like, with the amount that it holds. Like, it's the biggest rink. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything about it, it's just like, I don't think anything can top it.
So true. This place is unbelievable.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, it can't, you're right. It can't be matched. But what I mean is that's the challenge. You got to bring it.
Yep.
Like you've got to bring it, all the fans, because we're just riding the biggest high of this tournament, and it has to keep going.
Yeah, you haven't shut up about it yet.
True.
I feel like Nate thinks I'm funny. It's kind of great. He's
Yeah,
like, wow,
that's
I wasn't expecting this.
Oh God. Well, heading into Boston in our closing thoughts, how's everyone feeling?
Wonderful.
Really?
Yeah. You feel good?
I don't know.
Not nervous at all? Yeah.
We'll see after tomorrow night.
I'm curious. Are you nervous about Finland?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's a good attitude.
Yeah.
I think it's like we were talking. There were a lot of people after the USA game. They were like, Finland, whatever. And then Finland slapped Sweden in the mouth. And I think people are like, oh, shit.
Yeah, you can't overlook them.
No, definitely not.
The one thing, like, that I do think that we, like, Canada can do and use to our advantage is, like, obviously, like, Finland's weakness is their D.
Yeah.
Like, without a doubt. And then we'll see, like, Lankinen?
Yeah.
He's starting. He's starting, and it's just like, at least he got a little, like, I don't know. I think that's their weakness. But you talk about it, they've got depth down the middle. Mm-hmm. But how much can that help? Mm-hmm. If your D, like, literally aren't there, which I don't think they are compared to anybody else in this tournament.
Yeah.
Is it going to matter?
Dude, and we talked earlier about it'd be a nightmare for Sweden if they lose to the U.S. and finish 0-3. Nightmare if you lose to Finland.
Absolutely. And that's what I think.
I won't even talk about it. I won't even talk about that happening.
Yeah.
But I think, like, that's also, it's not a bad thing for us to be sitting there like, they got to win.
Yeah.
So, right? Like, why not go into another do or die game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
we haven't had it yet technically, so let's go into a do or die game.
Yeah, this is semifinals.
Yeah.
No, it's so cool.
I mean, and I mean, as a Canadian, with obviously what happened with World Juniors, and like I think there's a little added pressure too.
Yeah, agree.
going
On the
against
men's side,
right?
like the men's
There's added
side has
pressure.
been
the
weak,
men's side
to be
there is, for
honest.
right? I think there's a little added pressure. So I mean, this is
I think it's fire too. Like it's added pressure, but I think they're fired up by the pressure.
for sure.
Which
I
is
agree.
good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that we get to go into Monday with an immediate must-win game is fun.
Yeah. Aaron, before we go, can you give us a P-Dub update? Six game heater.
Yep.
Pretty sick.
Yeah, we're rolling right now. Got Minnesota on Tuesday night, which will be good. I think. What do we have right now? I think we're up by 8 points in first right now. But the 3-point system is
so cool.
It's
dude.
so good.
They do that.
It swings so quickly. Like I think the bottom 4 teams are 2 points apart. Like so we're feeling pretty good. I don't know what the Minnesota Boston's playing right now. Minnie was up 2-0, and then game in Edmonton, Toronto, and Ottawa are playing this afternoon. So excited to watch that one too.
Yeah, that's awesome. God,
You guys feeling good?
best jerseys. You guys have the best jerseys. Too.
Thank you.
Easy.
I say and best jerseys, but best look all put together.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah, top
I
to
agree.
bottom kit is solid.
I like our cream jerseys better than our maroon just by look, but when we're in our gear, maroon just looks
it's so
fantastic.
clean.
Yes.
It's so
Yes.
clean.
Yeah, I
It's
like
so
it.
and you have a Bell Center game
March
coming up.
1st,
Yeah,
yep.
they're playing
March
Bell Center.
1st.
Yeah.
Which honestly
scored
was
last time they were there,
against
which is lit.
Toronto.
no Boston. This
Boston.
year.
It is
Yeah.
Boston. That's right.
that's
Like
sick.
last year was one of the top 3 moments of my career was playing at the Bell Center. Didn't win,
what did you
but
say again? Though it was like your first Worlds, your first Olympics, and playing at the Bell Center.
Yeah.
Isn't that dope?
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And they did the fix you to skate out too.
they played
And that always gets me teary eyed. Even going to a Habs game, and I actually showed him a photo last night of me stepping onto the ice, and it was the coolest moment. I just kind of look up, and it's unbelievable.
That is the best, isn't it? Yeah.
That's
We're gonna
what-
get you in the goal column soon here too.
at the Bell Center.
we need to. No, we don't want to wait that long.
you're right.
Whoa,
We need it
whoa,
against
whoa,
Minnesota.
whoa! That's another
Tuesday.
5 games before the Bell
God
Center.
damn. You're right. We'll have 5 game
Tuesday.
5
We're
game
scoring
goal
on
streak.
Tuesday.
5
I
game-
need my netters bump. That's
Yeah.
the only reason I came on this
There
pod.
it is. There it is. You need a netter's bump.
Literally the only reason she's here.
is
I just
so
need a
good.
netter's bump. We're gonna get a goal.
Thanks,
on
guys. See
Tuesday.
ya.
Great stuff. All right. Well, we're headed to Boston now. Big game Tuesday. Gonna get a goal. What we keep saying it. What more could we ask for? This. Here we go. The show goes on.
The thing we can ask for is a Canada-US final.
Yeah.
Canada-US final.
No
3-2,
disrespect.
3-2 Canada, just like a women's hockey game. USA-Canada, 3-2 final in overtime.
There we go. Yeah, no disrespect, Finland, Sweden. I think we do want a USA.
Everybody
Canada
needs it.
Give the people what they want.
Dude, a 3-on-3 overtime. Is it 3-on-3 in the final?
No, I think it's 5-on-5. I'm pretty sure.
Is it?
I thought it's. I
don't
think
know.
so.
I don't know either.
I think
was about to say
it's
that would
20
be
minutes.
Bananas.
I don't know for sure actually, but I know it's 20. It's continue.
I think that's right.
I think it
gotta be
is.
5.
It's been the same. It's with the exception of the 10 minutes. It's been all NHL rules, and
you're right.
playoffs is 5v5, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it's.
Although I am kind of surprised that they would agree to that. PA wise, that's a lot more. Could be a lot more hockey.
Yeah, yeah.
You could literally play.
Triple overtime.
play 6 periods.
You could
Yeah,
play
yeah.
63 minutes in a game.
Right.
I think they probably just wouldn't want to end it not the traditional way. You know, right?
Yeah. Honestly, game 1 when it went to 3v3, as electric as it was, there was part of me in this type of tournament. I was like, no, do 5v5, but it was sick. But yeah, I think they got to do 5v5. All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me over.
And here we go. I can't believe we have fucking 5 more days of this.
Shipping up to Boston.
Yeah.
We're going to Beantown.
Come on.
All right.
I'll miss you guys in Montreal. Thanks for stopping in.
Oh my God. Of course.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yes.
And thanks for not showing up to the P-Dub game. Had to be called out.
Had to be called out.
Oh, wow.
They're 0 for 2, actually. They've been in
Left
the
us seats.
same
Yeah.
location. Yep. At 4 empty seats. You technically had
Yeah,
a ticket
yeah,
too,
true.
I would
You
So
assume.
am I.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you,
you looped in.
is you.
Yeah, but you're not in trouble. You're
I'm
not.
not in
It's
trouble.
these guys.
Yeah, this is a one warning, basically.
Yeah.
For you.
There's a slap on the wrist for you.
Just slap on the wrist. Sorry. Okay.
All right. Well, that's it for us in this episode of the Empty Netters podcast. And until we see you in Boston.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
Skate hard.